What's your favorite scary movie?
This is Halloweentown.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Beetlejuice.
You know, it's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Do you ever get the feeling you missed something?
You know what? I sometimes do.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cheap Seat Critics Podcasts. I am one of your hosts, your geeky writer.
I'm Crimson Maroon.
And I'm Sprinks. And hey, if you're listening from Halloweentown High, represent, you can look up Cheap Seat Critics Podcast on like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LetterBoxd. And we have a visual side of things over on YouTube and Rumble, if you prefer that. But we also have all the audio platforms as well.
Yeah, and welcome back. Today we're covering Halloweentown High, as Sprinks has mentioned.
So excited.
Yeah, excitement is a word for this. I think we'll start with histories. So Sprinks, why don't you start?
Sweet. Hey, I've seen Halloweentown, the first one, a handful of times. I've seen Calabar's Revenge, maybe 4 times. I don't remember what I said when we covered it, but like not as much as the first movie. Halloweentown High, I think I've seen. This is probably my 3rd time seeing it, and then Return to Halloweentown, I think I've seen twice. So the more they make, the less I rewatch them.
That's fair. Well, I'll go next. First time. Like all the preceding ones, this is my first time watching Halloweentown High, and I have seen the previous films only those one times for the podcast. Crimson.
Franks, you know what's really cool about voices is you can always tell when someone's smiling when they're talking. And for some reason, that was absent with Ryder right there. I don't know.
You would
Weird
actually
of
be
you to
wrong.
say
I
that.
was smiling.
I didn't feel it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go with my history now.
Maybe you didn't feel it because I didn't feel it.
Maybe that's it. As I stated in the first one, the Halloweentown's kind of a tradition with my sister. We try to get to it every year, but it doesn't happen every year. I've probably seen the first one 10 times or so, maybe less, maybe more. Second one, roughly close to the first, but probably a little less. Third one, this one, I've probably seen 4 times, not that much. And fourth one, probably 2 or 3. We never make it to the end when we get through these. So, and I guess I own a newspaper that had a little blurb on the 10-year anniversary of
Hey, nice.
Halloweentown.
Awesome.
The actual place, not the movie.
Oh yeah, that's also true. Never been to the actual place.
Me neither.
To probably no one's surprise, there wasn't very many like facts about this film that I could find. So does anyone have any they want to supply before I read off the few I have?
It's the 3rd one in an installment of 4 movies.
Hey, that's a me thing. You can't be stealing my bits, Sprinks.
Oh man,
well,
hey, did you hear the
he
smile
didn't
through
steal-
that one?
He didn't steal all your bits, Crimson. You usually give us budget, right? Do you want to?
Oh, okay. The budget is potentially larger than the previous 2.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially.
I mean, they do use a lot more special effects in this, I think. So.
I mean, that bag. Ooh, just imagine how much money was put into that recycled animation.
More special effects, less costuming.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I found no budget.
This movie was made to be more family-friendly than the previous installment, which some criticize for being too dark.
The 2 earlier works are too dark.
The previous one, because Halloweentown was dying or whatever, and everything was grayscaling. I assume that's what they're referring to. By the way, all these facts are taken off the internet, so take it with a grain of salt.
I think they went the wrong direction. They should have made them darker.
Too childish. The original vision of the first one was going to be a darker film.
I want more.
But that was all said in that podcast. I don't remember it now. That was 2 years ago.
I want more spooky goosebumps.
The the filming location for the interior and exterior carnival scenes were filmed at Juan Diego Catholic High School in Salt Lake City, Utah. The school is also used for filming scenes for The Luck of the Irish.
Oh, I've seen that. Another
Is that true?
yes, another Disney Channel original movie.
That doesn't surprise me.
Utah must have been the cheapest state they could film in.
Probably. And that really, honestly, truly is all I could find that was remotely interesting.
Hey, that was more than I could find for Breaking Wind.
Oh yeah, that film exists.
Never forget.
The point is to try to forget. Well, I guess with that we can move right along in the coverage. We're going to be doing popcorn structure today, and I'm really feeling Crimson. You should start us off.
What? You can't. What? All right.
That's what he was
We'll
feeling.
start with a huge thorn in my side with this movie in particular. That darn bag that I've already referenced in this podcast. I
Really? You
hate
don't want
this
to save it
bag.
for the end?
I don't like anything about this bag. I couldn't contain myself, writer, long enough to not talk about this bag.
That's true.
It-
Neither could fucking I. I was going to do it next.
The energy of this episode's wild.
It doesn't walk in the other ones. It floats, it hovers. It didn't really have much of a mind of its own other than it followed Grandma in the second one. First one, it was just a bag that had like an infinite pit. Here, it's got a whole personality. It's got its own agency. It does whatever it wants.
It's like a dragon.
Against what its owner says. It ignores Eggie constantly.
And it causes so many more problems.
How
Hundreds
the
of
heck
issues.
did it eat that bird?
Yeah, it sucked it from the cage that was 3 feet above it.
Yeah, see what happens, Springs, is when it opens its bag, like a black hole opens up, but it's directional, so it only sucks in what it wants.
But it has to do it with no visuals.
Exactly.
Because
Now, they
Phil and
couldn't
Aggie
afford that
didn't
in the budget.
notice.
Well, what we failed to realize is this purse used to be a witch, but Aggie cursed her to become a purse.
Oh, does that get told in the fourth
So-
movie?
Wait,
You
doesn't,
know what?
doesn't that
We won't.
violate the Merlin Code of Conduct or whatever?
Hey, Ryder?
All we get on the Merlin Code of Conduct is that you're not allowed to steal other witches'
Ryder,
spells.
there's a possibility of murder in this movie.
A
It
possibility, you
really
say.
questioned me.
A possibility.
Yes, that there's murder present.
You're probably right. So go ahead.
Yeah, with popcorn. When Edgar starts turning all the, I don't know what they're called, just like the costumes in the haunted house sentient and alive.
Into
Aggie
people to kill. Yeah.
Aggie and Marnie don't know those aren't monsters. So when Aggie just kills the Frankenstein or bursts the other dude into flames, well, that was Marnie, but are they just killing monsters?
Good for
The
them.
way I saw it was the spell is specific to them being artificial beings. I didn't perceive it as murder, but it could be.
But they both vanished.
See-
It wasn't like the Frankenstein just fell over stiff, like it's back to
See,
a prop.
you saw them killing monsters. I saw them killing pests.
Pest control.
Unless it said like Aggie just sent them to Halloweentown, like it's a transportation spell. But then even with Edgar, all she did was open the floor in the ground for him to get sucked in, because when they enter a haunted house, he's just standing there.
You are really throwing me off by calling him Edgar.
I thought that was
each
his
time
name.
You said it, I'm like, who the heck is Edgar?
Edgar,
I kept
Ethan's
putting
dad.
him yeah,
Who?
the bad guy.
The Ryan from High School Musical. I don't know how else, the guy who wants to do theater.
Yeah,
The monster that's not a monster because he never takes his skin off.
Well, he's a warlock.
He's a warlock.
He's
Okay.
not a monster.
I can't help but notice that every warlock is evil in this fucking franchise, apparently.
Well, Dylan isn't.
Oh yeah, Dylan's. Oh yeah, I guess Dylan's technically a warlock, but
He does
doesn't
have
really
magic.
practice magic, does he?
No, but he's a little bit
No.
of an asshole.
Yeah.
That is true. Uh, Sprinks, I wrote him as Calloway. That's what I refer to him as.
Calloway.
Yeah, because that's his last name.
So
Which
Knights of the Iron Dagger, they
are
despise all
cool.
things related to magic and hunt it down, right?
Do they even
That's the
exist?
story. They're the boogeymen.
Yeah, they're the boogeymen. We see shots of someone walking around in armor outside of the house, so presumably they do exist,
But
right?
is that
That's the principal stopping.
does
Yeah.
Phil put on a full suit of armor to walk around the town?
No, you know what? He just felt really cool to find out he was the last of a bloodline that he totally wasn't lied to about at all.
Yeah. He also in the
His
mall.
excitement was when asking, "I'm a knight, though, right?"
Oh yeah, all hail. In the mall when all the shots of the glove with the ring, like the whole like, ooh, who is it? Is that just him just wearing a glove, like a chainmail glove and a totally normal outfit, or is he in the full knight suit?
I
I
have
have
to
to
assume it's the
armor.
chainmail glove gauntlet thing because if it's a full suit, that is so much more problematic for this film. And
'Cause they keep
honestly,
hiding
it
it.
doesn't need that. Well, it actually takes effort to get in and out of armor. So
We also never see Phil with the glove, like confirming it's him. We just see the ring, which I guess is the
Yeah.
confirmation you need, but the glove just not needed.
Oh, Calloway or Edgar he does go in a suit of armor in this, so that could be him. I think it's very weak because
oh
Edgar's the
yeah,
one that was in the armor in the magic room or
Oh, in the
whatever,
lounge.
in the locker. Yeah,
that
he
makes a
was
lot
the
more
knight in the
sense.
locker.
That makes more sense. Still doesn't help the film.
Yeah, and
It's
he was also the
creepy.
werewolf at
It's
the mall.
oh, Uncle Ernie, the
Yeah,
werewolf.
Uncle Ernie.
It's weird how if you think about how long he waited until Cassie approached him, very pervy. She's alone in that lounge with him in a knight armor, and he's just watching her.
I don't really get the perviness, but
What's he doing?
pervy has intent.
Why didn't he
Well,
act and capture her
Okay.
His
immediately?
plan wasn't to capture her, though.
His plan was to stay hidden and just keep watch.
Yeah.
It wasn't until she started getting suspicious that she went.
Oh, he had to
capture her.
take actions when he was revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So
To me, it seemed like Cassie was a part of the plan to begin with.
I have a question for this. How much better of a character would Phil be if it was true that he was actually like a descendant of knights and
Oh, way
that
better.
wasn't something he was told?
Way better. It shows they exist.
Yeah. I agree.
Because
One
the
of the things that I
boogeyman
was
was a line, but then the mom confirms that it's a real person that she
Yeah.
dated.
Yeah. She did confirm that.
Yeah. So the thing about like I guess about the knight character is or Phil in general, I actually think he would have been a very compelling character if like it wasn't so obvious he was manipulated into the position that he was in. Even if he was manipulated into the position that he was in, I think it'd be cool if he'd let himself be that. Like he understood why he did that. But all the error is taken out of his character the moment you learn that Edgar told him.
Do you want Phil to have a Darth Vader moment?
He doesn't need a Darth Vader moment, but I would have preferred a more interesting character if he was the way he was for his own reasons.
Okay. Rather than a
I think that would be
baffling
stronger.
loon.
Yeah. Like if
But
he was like
rather
if he
than a
what if,
pawn, he would just be a third party or something.
yeah, like what if yeah, I mean like he could be working with them but he also has third party agency. Like obviously he doesn't like what if he does have experience with magic and all of it was bad, you know? So that's why he became a knight more or less. Like one of the like he decided to take up like his father's sword or whatever and whatever. And like you know the idea that this would also help strengthen his relationship with Aggie and the others as well as he realized not all magic is harmful.
Yeah. And then
The
he
reason
just
I bring
makes a
all this up,
mob.
yeah, the reason I bring all this up is because I think I haven't seen a character more confused about who they are as a person and as a character and the story that they're being told since Kylo Ren.
Ooh.
ki-
I
I'm not
could see the
fully
parallels.
disagreeing.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
It's
I would have liked if he was a serious knight instead of this
Yeah.
pawn.
and it would be
Yeah.
interesting too, like if he did actually get attached to Aggie before learning that she's a witch.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because he goes from getting a mob to attack the Cromwells to worrying that Aggie got hurt, which was pretty much the most laughable.
What a
I
stupid
had to
mob.
pause the film and laugh. That was so fucking funny.
Well, I love what Calloway pretty much said. What the audience was saying was, "You're the one that set a mob after her."
Yeah, it doesn't fix the problem with the film. Like I'm gonna stand by my rule: pointing out your own stupid movie doesn't make them less stupid, but
What
it did make it funny.
was the mob's goal?
To be
Uh,
a mob,
To
I
capture
assume
them?
to I don't know, burn the witches. I don't know.
To
chase
burn
them out.
okay, to burn the witches.
No, I have no
Oh,
idea. I'm just throwing it out there
okay.
as a potential.
The reason why I'm so confused by the mob, they automatically act up on like they're bad, they are witches, let's get them. And then they enter the haunted house and they're sitting on the floor, Aggie and Marnie, and then they go, "Hold up, wait. Whoa. Hang on.
We need to hear a
They're on the
speech.
ground. Let's hold on."
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out that they would have seen Aggie and Marnie deal with Edgar. Lucky Edgar survived that, by the way. But
Mm.
uh, when Edgar was throwing out attack spells randomly into the fucking carnival
Oh,
festival thing.
yeah. His little like Voldemort memory things from Order of just a he's making sound effects. He's up there going.
I mean, hey,
Just-
listen, Ewan McGregor made sound effects constantly when fighting a lightsaber. I don't have issue if you're
yeah,
making your
but
own
those
sound
aren't kept in
effects.
the movie.
That's true, but it's still it's a sign of them enjoying themselves, I guess.
Um,
That's it for
I
me
know
for
it's
now on that one. But,
the you're done with all of your points in this movie.
no,
Gosh, this is a
fuck no.
short
Oh,
podcast.
I have a
Go ahead.
huge objective point that I think tackles all of us.
Yeah, I have one. It's popular. I'm going to tackle something right at the end here. The big twist that he was listened to and lost right at the end, got pulled back and lost all the magic. Uh, he should have still kept the magic because it was past midnight or whatever. They didn't prove by midnight of Halloween that humans were good. That was after. So
They
the
proved that he was a
contract,
traitor. I
that
guess
doesn't matter. But the magical contract, whatever.
whatever the
The
fuck
The
it's supposed to be.
contract would
Right.
have
Sure.
invoked it, yeah, even though their head councilman was a traitor.
Yeah. So that was nonsense.
I
Absolutely not.
agree.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he did
Well,
get their magic at the turn of midnight. He
technically,
returned, and then they get their magic back.
it's a
'Cause
magical contract in this world, and magic doesn't work like magic in this, so maybe there was a clause
M-
they beat, or I don't know.
No clause we're privy to.
No,
So yeah, I thought that was terrible, especially being the climax defeat of the villain, making no sense.
no, it's um Crimson. Being that you have seen these movies the most, how many levels of spells are there?
Well, this is the only movie that refers to levels, so
that's
I
how
could tell
Okay,
you.
so at least two.
Yeah, I wrote when Marnie brought up level 2 spell or uh, Dylan. I guess Dylan brought up level 2. Whatever. I was like, okay, so she did a time travel spell in the previous movie. What level is that? Level 2? Is that level
That's a
3?
great
What
question.
is that?
I
Time
just
travel, I think, would be peak.
I just wanted to put that out there because everything in the events of pretty much these three movies are all level 1 spells from Marnie.
They're all easy. And she did the gray spell easily in the previous film, and that's like a Agatha level spell.
she got her
They guess I
magic
made
back without magic.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
So couldn't tell you. They threw that in here and didn't really do anything with it. So
Also,
except damage the world.
Marnie doesn't have to say incantations to do spells. Aggie does, and I think she's a well, aged, versed witch than Marnie.
That would be true.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm not going to help the movie.
It could be that this film is just inconsistent.
Yeah.
With
Crimson, help us make the movie go bad. It's going down
Going down, 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 down.
a little. Oh, was that a song? Was that your own rendition of a song? How about the rendition of the song in this movie of oh shoot, where the heck did I Let's Get Together as a like early 2000s rock song.
Is that the carnival song?
No, that is the song where Marnie goes, "Let's all try out for an extra
Oh, the montage.
activity clubs."
montage. Yeah, that was a thing.
The thing.
I wouldn't really call it bad though. It's just very
it's just
cliche.
It was shocking.
On the point. It's on the nose for the type of film it is.
Let's see. Should we give a positive?
So the council was just teleported in, right? The council wasn't here before, like, this movie?
This is their first introduction. They were not even mentioned in the previous two movies.
No.
Considering that their town got, like, destroyed by two fucking...
Calabar and...
warlocks.
Calabar
yeah. Yeah.
Calabar and Cal.
Yeah. Considering that, I'm really impressed that they never had any say or thought or thanks for the Cromwell family.
Yeah, no argument. They should have absolutely been involved or mentioned.
The one positive note that I had here in the first 10 minutes was, oh look, the portal's still open between worlds. That's neat.
They did maintain continuity with that.
They tried.
There's your positives, Franks.
Yes. Yeah, good. I'm trying to think, is it possible because the events of the first and second movie do you think Edgar Calloway was a part of the council since the first film? Or do you think he joined for the third one?
I don't know.
We don't even know if the council was
I don't think the council existed.
Okay.
They could have been
I'm thinking because of his
Calabar.
Because of his big villain plot of what to do with the gateway thing, I feel like it would only worked in this film.
They clearly, they imply the council is very important to Halloweentown. Like they've been there for years. At least that's what we're supposed to infer from the dialogue. But it's just optimism they added for the sake of this film.
To me, it feels like when one of these movies in this franchise ends, the crew doesn't know that they're going to make a second one later or a next one.
Yeah,
I agree
with that. I mean, his objective still could have been to close the portals. It would have just been the standard Halloween night portal instead of this 24/7 portal.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
So, yeah. Do you want to remember?
Yeah, an issue. I know an issue in this film. I can't believe it. I thought we would have run out by now.
Well, you only have like 4, right?
Yeah. This would be number 4. So we learn, right, that you need a portal to cross worlds. Yet the council can just cross over without a portal. Twice. In 2 different ways. The ending where they're like astral projection ghost things. And then in Marnie's room when they bring the entire chamber into her room.
Well, okay. So the second instance, I don't know about that. To me, the second when they're in Marnie's room, I thought that was them in the human world, and they're just in Marnie's room. The first instance where she's like at the beginning of the movie and suck her through, they suck her to their realm.
Presumably.
Okay,
we don't know if the room moved. We don't know if the room moved to the human world, or if they moved her to their world.
Do Halloweentown residents have the power to just use this 24-hour door whenever?
I think it's literally just a doorway they can walk through. So quite
Okay,
possibly.
because like the council's using it, Edgar is just using it to get around.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, no one really
Yeah, that
cares
was
about the safety of magic in this movie.
No, that's another big issue I have.
I mean,
Someone
Marnie
should trying
was.
to remain hidden.
I know.
They even commented on a scene when Edgar walks through the door, and the girls are like, "That's the coolest thing in here."
Yeah. And Marnie
Or-
was berating Aggie for doing magic, but she kept doing magic herself in front of people.
Yep. Doesn't absolve that she's right about Aggie though.
Well, that's true. Aggie was ridiculous in this movie.
Aggie was absurd.
This whole movie.
Yeah. The Iron Dagger, by the way, just appears off screen, like in the sense of like it's supposed to. I think what I'm talking about, what the painting on the school,
Oh, the chalk.
yeah, with the chalk. Um, in like the scene that where the Iron Dagger is supposed to be, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be where Marnie and the kids are walking by at the very beginning, and she talks to her not evil boyfriend.
Okay, so
Cody,
I went back for that scene because Marnie's talking to Cody, and Aggie's in the window like saying, "Come on up." When it
Yeah.
cuts to Cody standing there by himself, of like, "Oh yeah, I practiced 3 hours trying to ask her out," the chalk's not there. But then when Marnie goes to see Aggie, Aggie's in the science classroom. So she is looking out a different window. But the problem is, how did Marnie know where Aggie went?
I mean, they could probably sense each other.
That also could probably be her science classroom because she was teaching a science class. Somehow.
That was a huge window. You saw Aggie's whole body.
Yes. No, I'm saying that location could be different from the science class that they end up in. And I'm saying that's the science class that she typically might teach her classes in, not like a window stairway kind of area.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just think the window we're looking out of in the science room is outlooking a different part of the school than where we saw Marnie and Cody.
I agree.
Possible.
I guess just like Evil Dead we covered last week and keeping up with characters' names, did you guys know all the students' names of the Canadians?
No.
I knew Cody, not Cody, Cassie, and I just had his name. The son. Don't tell me. Don't freaking tell me. It's on the tip. Evan, Ethan, something.
Oh, well, it's one of those two.
Yeah.
Ethan.
You're in the right flat there. Yeah.
There you go.
There we go.
Uh,
I don't even know Troll Girl.
yeah. I don't know
Natalie?
Troll's name. Yeah.
Natalie.
Dude, you got Cassie, Pete, Natalie, Chester, Ethan.
Yeah.
that's
I
it.
remember
I wrote
Chester
their
and I
intro
remember
names,
Ethan.
but
That was
I
it.
did not keep it up with my notes. I didn't do that. I don't think I wrote anything about the werewolf in this at all.
I wrote down Uncle
Even
Ernie,
address a name.
which was his uncle. Because I'm like, oh, maybe that's relevant.
Should we find it weird that Mommy Cromwell has gone to dating the boogeyman when she wanted nothing to do with magic in her real life?
Well,
Mommy Cromwell.
she said it was a long time ago and it was one date, so it could have been before Marnie's dad.
Okay.
That's how I took it.
All right. Another moment of pointing out your own stupids doesn't make it less stupid. The fact that she's using magic for tea when trying to comfort Marnie.
Oh, the hot
And
chocolate
points
thing?
out-
Yeah.
Yeah, and points out that it's weird that she's doing it. I'm like, yeah, that is weird. That's a character flaw.
Don't you just love
What the
marshmallow
heck
spiders?
is that marshmallow? That creature is sentient and is born to die.
Unless
That's
it dies when
crazy.
it hits the cocoa. I don't know. I don't know how that's comforting. Of like, oh, it's alive.
They're committing genocide. It's fine. They're willing. What do you expect?
Ready and willing.
What I think is weird is that they say the story of the boogeyman is like the Iron Dagger, the Knights of the Iron Dagger, and it's scary stories to tell Halloweentown residents. Like, this is the scary stories to tell them. why the heck are there 3 full nights in the lounge if it's supposed to be scary of these Canadians who are very big on we need equality and care and we're not scary monsters?
I
You can
have
blame
no
Aggie.
fucking clue.
Aggie made the
Aggie
lounge.
put
So
3 full night sculptures in their lounge to scare them?
she made it. I don't know if it's to scare them, but
Well, this is
she
Aggie we're talking about. She's so antithetical to everything that this group is trying to do.
Yeah, it shocked me when I saw One Night statue and I went, okay, that's going to be someone hiding in the night. Got it. And then it's cutting to Cassie walking around by herself in there and it shows there's 3 of them.
I'm just gonna say it. I think Aggie is the best villain in this movie,
Oh,
and that is not the intention of the writer at all.
oh, interesting.
she's not great.
Do you think she's intentionally doing dumb things?
That would make her a villain.
I know, that's what I'm asking. Do you believe that she is doing intentionally dumb things? Or do you think it's not intentional, it's just dumb and it's the writer's
No,
fault?
it's not intentional. It's the writer's fault.
Okay.
But I just need to tweak one thing about her character, and she would be the best functioning villain in the story. Which is make all that shit intentional. That's pretty much all you have to do.
Freaking Aggie got assassinated in this.
Oh, horribly.
Oh, dude,
Uh,
you guys saw what happened when she lost her temper.
In
I
class in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just to Mr. Miller or whatever. I think that's what his name was.
Everyone
Yeah.
behind her
The
saw.
student's name,
They
Mr.
all
Miller.
reacted.
I don't understand after her demonstration of history of that class starting and her explaining historical events and the students go, it's like she's never taught a day in her life. I don't know what the heck she said in science then if Mr. Miller's like, wow, she can't teach.
It's because she can't teach in general, to be honest with you.
I mean, she can't teach, but she's on the right subject. She's not talking about mumbo jumbo magic.
That guess. So she read a book somewhere at some point in her life, I guess.
Freaking Mr. Miller shows up at the mall. I didn't think he would be coming back. He was at the mall.
He
And I
has
don't
a
know why
name.
they hired somebody who was like 40 years old.
He
That's
is.
exaggerated, but he's
Oh,
like 30.
he's old looking.
I don't know what that casting
He's
is.
like a Grease high schooler.
I think when this is actually towards the beginning when grandma blames the mother and mother blames grandma over Marnie's upbringing and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
was really annoyed because they're realistically they're both at fault for Marnie not being taught how to deal with the council and how to not make contracts fucking randomly.
Yeah, I mean, they knew this council thing ahead of time, and they
In
could have
theory.
prepped her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That isn't prepped her.
They're like, oh, Marnie, word of mouth, the metaphors don't really work to Halloweentown character, even though the last 2 movies it's been totally fine. There's no boundaries of language.
Yep.
I guess maybe the socks the guy who's like good and bad swap. He had I forget his name, but he had some like phrasing things that were weird.
I don't know. What's also weird about it is that Calloway. He talks about like when the Cromwells are going to lose their powers and no one can stop me. I'm like, there's no way your plan was for Marnie to slip up and put the Cromwell powers on the line.
Crimson, that's exactly what he was planning. That's exactly what he was planning. That's what happened. He is the reason he took her words and bended them for the contract to work for him.
Maybe that was the reason why his plan was so shit. Is because he came up with it right then.
Possibly. That's why I was asking if he was a part of the council from the last 2 movies, if the council's been around that time. Because if he's just now, then of course he's going to incorporate Marnie.
Yeah, my presumption is yes, because we don't get anything otherwise about the council. This is our first introduction.
It also explains how like nice and calm he is before that event happens, and he shoves her away. He's like, "Thank you for saving Halloween Town. We just have some things to discuss. Totally fine. We're actually here to talk about your thing for the Halloween Town kids to travel over. Totally cool." And then he goes, "Oh, you said something to lose your magic. All right, get out." Writer, I
Well,
think that's a
actually,
great thing that
the
he
caterpillar
came up
man
with the
said
idea.
that though.
Oh yeah,
Caterpillar
the
man. That's
Absalom man, whatever I wrote him in. I don't know.
Caterpillar.
Yeah, caterpillar. That's a lot easier.
Yeah, he's the one that's like, she said it. She said it. You hear that? She said it. And then they all shook their heads, and that was it. So, they all jumped on board with the Cromwell magic. So
Yeah.
I don't know, not great there. And thing with the council, the first meeting with the council here, and I thought it was really dumb. Is I wrote, "How is their knowledge so bad?" Because they're like, the humans haven't changed, blah blah blah. The portals are open every Halloween, every single year. How do you not know anything? Keep Monsters go in and out every year. How does the council not know about humanity?
I guess that falls into the
And they
council
say
was
at the
just made for
end,
this movie. Even though the end of the
Yeah.
second movie is essentially right next to when this movie starts. It doesn't seem
That
like there's a
makes
lot of
it
time difference.
substantially worse.
is that right next? I mean, I don't think it is.
I don't know.
We don't really have a time frame.
Yeah, we don't really
Well,
have a time
other
frame.
the
than they
second
look older.
movie, the dance. Do we know when that took place? It took place at a school, but was it
It
like
was a
during?
Halloween party.
It was
It was a
during Halloween.
party. Yes, because the door only opens on Halloween.
Okay, so then it's been. Okay, then it's
At least a
definitely
year
been
because it's
time.
Halloween, right?
It's
It's
definitely been time.
Halloween for the
Yeah,
carnival, right?
well, school hasn't even started yet. They're like, "Oh, school's gonna start. Where's Aggie?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm going to school with all the kids, with the Canadians."
Yeah, so
So
it's the start of the school year.
yeah, it's either late August, early September when this movie starts. So we got a good 9-10 month span between the second movie and this one, roughly.
Yeah.
I guess that's
Kind of
enough
a
time
while
to
for
get
the
a council
council
in.
to.
Oh, to
Yeah,
acknowledge her.
if we, yeah,
Well, then again, they're more. It seems they're a little more on the school transfer students thing than thanking her
I
with
suppose
a
that's true.
possible parade.
Mhm.
Yeah, it'd be weird. It'd be weird if this was their first meeting since then. I feel like that's something they would have done way earlier.
It
Yeah,
actually, I guess that kind of helps then that it's like Marnie saving Halloween Town twice is not on their agenda to talk to her. It's the bringing students to a different school in a different realm is what's brought Marnie.
Yeah, because that's something she wants to do now that the worlds are connected. She wants to keep them
Yeah.
connected.
I guess the time span does kind of help with that then. That the council could have been around for the past two movies and just didn't bother saying anything to Marnie because it wasn't important to them.
guess it's possible.
It's entirely possible. Can we talk about how much this family hates Dylan?
Oh, leaving him on the ceiling?
Yeah,
Uh,
they fucking
that's
they're
yeah.
not they don't they're not fostering his warlock powers. They are, leaving him on the ceiling at night. They do not love this man. It's
They
kind of
insult
sad,
him every
actually.
opportunity they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, Marnie just passing by. Oh, last to know. Haha. Also, it's not just
Yeah.
the Cromwells, it's the Canadians too. Everyone's in the kitchen when he's on the ceiling. No
Yep.
one's helping him.
Nobody likes him. The only person that felt bad was Natalie.
And that was until the
And
next morning.
yeah, but at least she felt bad, which is kind of why I enjoyed their situationship, I guess.
Does it also play that like Dylan didn't really being that Natalie was sorry for him, does it play that Dylan didn't advocate louder to get freed? Like he wasn't yelling in the house. He goes, "Oh, no one's coming to help me," and just went to sleep.
And he was yelling for a while, presumably.
Then I feel like Natalie would have heard.
Probably.
And it also might come down to that she might have heard, but had no magic to get him down.
Well, yeah, but
Also
then she
true.
would have gone to Aggie or someone to help her.
Also true.
I just is if one person knew to help Dylan, he would have gone down.
I mean, if they cared about him, but nobody cares about Dylan.
Yeah, no one cares about
No, right? I
Uh,
agree. That was sad.
that. Another tiny point of praise I do have for the film, also coming from Dylan, surprisingly, not surprisingly, is he actually kind of goes on a little bit of an arc, is that appearances aren't everything. It's very basic, but the arc is there.
Well, yeah, but it also made him stupid. You're a troll? I thought you were a human from
Ooh.
Halloweentown.
Yeah, that's true. I won't deny that.
Yeah, so
I would
what?
say the
You're
arc isn't
pink.
perfect. It has a lot of holes, but at least it's there.
Oh my god, you're so ugly. Yeah, I know. I agree. Friends.
Oh God, what a freaking terrible ending to that.
Yeah,
Beauty's
that
on the
is-
inside, right? Yeah, right. What a message.
His glasses were steaming with love.
Well, yeah, because
for
she's
this
in
girl.
human form.
Yeah, his glasses fucking broke the laws of physics to steam for how much he was in love with this girl.
Bit of an
They were
anime
fogging
moment.
up big time. But friends. All right. Yeah, whatever. Not great. Not great
They
at
both
all.
agreed that they were ugly to each other. It wasn't like just Natalie saying it and Dylan goes, "Oh, well, then maybe." Like, even though that's like still being treated bad as everyone else has treated Dylan
I will say Dylan did not say she was ugly. She called herself ugly in the human form.
in human form. Yeah, for her herself. I mean, at the end when they're about to kiss and she goes, "I'm sorry, I can't," and then Dylan goes, "Oh, thank goodness." Like
Yeah,
he
it's
can't stand
implied.
her either.
I mean, there's a lot of ways you could read that with Dylan. Either he wasn't feeling it anymore, he doesn't see her visually attractive, or he couldn't commit to anything. There's a lot of ways to read that part for Dylan.
I suppose so.
If Natalie was in the human skin, I think they would have kissed.
I don't
don't
think
think they
so.
would.
Natalie would find him disgusting.
I mean, I don't even think he would go for the kiss either. This
Well-
this friendship ending is just so out of the blue, left field.
Yeah, I
was
rephrase.
not built up at
It
all.
would have been more the Dylan being more saddened than agreeing. I think.
Yeah, she's like, friends. It's like, all right, friends, or
Yeah.
something like that. Then yeah, that would be far better. But the fact that they both so quickly say friends.
Even if it was like they were putting off the romance for the second film, but they like agree to start from ground zero here, that would have been fine.
Now I know it's been history on the pod that you two enjoy the understanding of one another when it comes to writing love for characters and stuff. And we've tackled it a couple times. Since we just covered Dylan and Natalie, would you two like to tackle Phil and Aggie or Marney and Cody?
I'll let Ryder spearhead.
All right, let's go to Marnie and Cody. My first note for this is, where did Goblin Kid go from from Halloweentown that
Oh,
she
he's
was
gone.
crushing on?
He doesn't want to go to human world.
Yeah, because they were having a budding relationship at the end of the last in both films. I think a little bit.
Oh no, there was something going on for sure. And
And
poof,
yeah, just fucking vanished. So
Luke, be gone.
Yeah, not even a
Luke
line
is gone.
indicating where he is.
Handsome, what is it called? Red herring. That's what I'm gonna call him, I guess.
Oh,
Handsome red herring.
absolutely.
Yeah. Handsome red herring walks into Marnie's life and is just being flirty and sus the entire time.
Yeah.
I get the physical attraction. They have no chemistry.
He's a stalker.
Zilch.
He followed her home. He knows where she lives.
That was the big one. I was like, how did he
didn't
know
get an
her
address.
address?
He didn't.
He didn't even set up a time for the date.
No, she even said tonight sorry, tonight I'm going to the mall with the Canadians, and he just goes to the mall. Not given
Wants to spend time
boundaries.
with her.
It's worse the fact that he had nothing implicating of like being a part of the Iron Dagger or working for Edgar or anything like. He's just a normal dude.
Yeah, and she still suspects him. The only, I
Him?
guess he did out himself. I guess with seeing her note.
Well, that's just
Yeah,
to the
looking at
locker.
the note for the locker.
Mm.
What's up with that locker?
And that's just a question. And
I,
that's
I
to
think going to the mall's not too bad.
I
but
think the note.
knowing her address and
Oh,
the
yeah.
note peeking.
The note peeking, I think, is just to avert the chainmail hitting the locker to be like, oh, is that Cody?
Yeah, that's red herring. This
Yeah.
man. And the interesting
I don't
thing is,
even-
I guess the chainmail hitting the locker, that would be Phil the Knight, but inside would be Edgar.
Yeah.
Was Edgar in the lounge
I
the
don't.
whole time?
He was definitely there for a large portion of it.
Yeah, I don't know if he was there from the beginning.
Okay.
Don't know. I don't know what the writers really wanted to subvert, because obviously Mr. Red Herring, Cody, was being set up to be the knight, but so early into this movie, they have Phil pretty much revealed as the knight when he looks at the dagger outside and
Just
smiles
fucking
at the
smirks.
camera.
Yeah.
So that pretty much confirmed he was the knight or involved. So the whole Cody fake out seemed redundant, because up to this
Oh,
point we don't think
okay.
there's two knights.
I had it as they were both in cahoots somehow.
Yeah. The best assumption is that they were in cahoots, and also the red herring specifically there because of Cal from Halloweentown 2, who you might remember as a boy that she was interested in who was evil.
Yeah. Lime ice cream.
Hey,
But
that dad was great. That
even
Gollum. Alex.
what was it? Made me lose my train of thought. Oh yeah, Cody being like, "Oh, it's my first day too." That I thought was this movie had a terrible meet cute. I thought that was that was atrocious. Of hey, it's my first day, and you're doing a little tour guide helping people along. Can you help me? And she goes, "No, sorry, I'm helping people."
Also, is it? I'm gonna add another note. Is it in character for Cody? Not saying that he has much of a character to be wearing a fucking fur tail.
Oh,
Well, it was not a tail.
it was his
a
jacket hanging
shirt
down,
jacket.
but
It just happened to look like.
yeah,
a tail,
that's
so
just
the tail was
Yeah.
hanging down.
I'm
I'm just gonna label it as fucking coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But also on Marnie to just yank it.
Fucking rude.
Yeah, that is
What
rude.
what if that really was a Halloween towner? How rude is
Yeah,
that?
that's rude. Can you imagine Natalie
on
like having her
someone's
pink
tail.
hair out, and Marnie goes, "Natalie," and just yanks her hair?
Yeah. Not nice.
You guys
Not
are
a good
really
move.
making me think about lowering my objective score now.
I'm glad.
That's the goal. Yes, it's not a good a movie objective.
There's a lot of issues with this. We have not made many compliments. What compliments are there?
I like
You
the
know who does
compliment
have
that when
chemistry?
Marnie.
Despite
I was gonna say I like the compliment that when Marnie goes to the council for the first time, they thank her for what she did in the last movie.
I guess maintaining continuity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where
they don't
is
just
Cal,
straight up
though?
ignore her. That is nice.
Cal didn't die in the second movie or get captured. He flew away.
Yeah.
Where's Cal?
Fourth movie.
Spoiler
You know
alert.
that,
I'm not going to answer that.
you know that island in South America that Edward took Bella to for their honeymoon?
Off the coast of Rio?
Yeah, that's where Cal is. He's there.
The Cullen's private island.
He's plotting his revenge. Part 2.
Let's hope not.
Jumping into the other romance aspects, meaning Aggie and Phil, I will say they do have chemistry. The writing for them is just terrible.
Well, it also just pops out of nowhere.
How many?
Which kind of work? It works in the sense of like it's entirely off screen, and they keep walking off together. So even Marnie notices, like, oh, he's called her Aggie now. Like, she points that out or calls it out on that. So it's clear that they clearly have a lot of off screen conversation as talking points. So it works as a kind of a backgroundish
Yeah.
sort of thing.
And
they're
it's
going
showing
for.
that it's growing. It's not just a
Yeah.
straight line, like being called Aggie and then
Yeah.
holding hands and then the kiss. It's like it's actually building, but
Yeah, if Phil was an actually good character, there was a lot of potential to come out of this romance.
yeah.
And
He could have been
then
like a Hans.
Aggie was like, you know what, Marnie, you are right. I didn't consider him as a bad guy. I'm just going to send my bag to kill him without
Yeah,
actually investigating.
that's exactly how I interpreted it.
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
I wrote in my notes, did Aggie just try to kill him?
I wrote that's an Irina move from Twilight of going on a hunch.
Yeah. Yeah, she had no evidence up to this point other than
Nothing.
a suspicion that Marnie brought up.
I have no idea how that creature, her bag creature, even got the ring without fucking maiming him.
Same way with the bird.
Well, the ring
It
was
just
on the table,
sucked in.
right?
No, it was in his pocket. You see him, he was putting it on,
Oh,
looking
that's
at it,
right.
and then he put it on his pocket.
Well, it likes to eat clothes.
It does like to eat clothes, but I still, what's separating? I don't know what's stopping this thing from not killing him. I legitimately thought it was going to kill him.
Well,
With
he's
how he
not.
was screaming, I assumed he
Yeah,
was
he's
just
not injured,
bloodied.
right?
He's
He's
walking
screaming
on a
bloody
cane.
murder.
Oh, he does have a cane. That's right. Never mind.
That turns into a snake.
I was gonna say, does it just eat clothing? But
It
No,
eats
it eats food.
birds.
if it's actually
It eats
injured
food,
him
too.
to a cane, then yeah,
It injured him to a cane. It actually eats real food, like
eats
Aggie's feeding it
sandwiches.
sandwiches, and
Yeah.
it ate the bird clearly. So
It ignores Aggie, so even if Aggie's like retrieved the ring, it probably could have still eaten his leg or something.
yeah, it had no reason to stop.
Also,
It
he
operates on its
he
own.
didn't
device.
defend himself very well. So if he was a real knight, he's a weak real knight.
Well, he didn't have his armor, and
was-
he's
yeah.
nothing without that suit of armor.
But he has his
He's
glove
freaking-
because he carries it around school.
Yeah, maybe that's how he got away. He used that. I'm still in the camp of I'm pretty sure that Edgar just fucking straight up lied to him and told him that he was the last
Oh,
son of a
absolutely.
fucking long
It's the
line.
fact that he
there's
double
no-
checked. He goes, "Oh, I am right."
Yeah, that's fair.
Otherwise, he would have known.
So
Well, I mean, Ryder is implying that Phil was lied to by Calloway. Calloway could have told him the truth too. Sprinks.
it could have been true, but even if it was a lie, it would have been interesting to see how Phil dealt with that because he had already started integrating it heavily into his identity and who he is as a person.
That's true.
Again, making Phil, like I said, this is why I'm comparing Phil to Kylo Ren because there's a lot of potential to be found in this character that's just wasted.
Yeah.
And no argument there.
I was gonna say that is true. If he believes it to be true that he is a knight, there's no follow up other than just him going, "Yeah, it doesn't really fit."
Yeah,
Of the reign, like
which would be something like if he was, and what if it was true? He was this last son of a knight, and he was trying to emulate it. And slowly over the course of the film, he's learning that magic isn't evil, like entirely evil. So that's an arc that he would be going on. So that would make the moment where he throws the ring away to, be happy with Aggie far more pointed and far more
Yeah.
powerful.
But they didn't do it.
Yeah, what a waste of a character.
I don't even know why the knights are threats to Halloweentown.
Actually,
I don't
guys,
either.
They couldn't do that because they were going for a more family-friendly approach in this movie. Can't be that. It can't be any darker than the first movie.
I guess as a compliment, here's a compliment to the film. When the knight first appeared on screen, I thought of the ending of Mystery Incorporated.
Yeah, Black Knight. You should
Yeah,
have been
and I thought of the end of
canceled.
that, and it reminded me of something good. So you know what? You get some positive, tiny bits of subjective sprinkles for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. By how poor
What'd you say,
tasting
Frank?
this movie is, a spruce of Scooby-Doo comment, it got me pumped.
I checked a couple days ago on how episode 2 is going, and they haven't updated since May.
Drat.
Oh man, sucks.
There's still the rumor that this is the show
They're
being picked
working
up by
on-
Netflix for a Scooby-Doo show that Netflix is working on. I don't know.
Again, if they do that if they give the Riverdale-esque treatment to Scooby-Doo, I actually would be interested in seeing that.
Be better than Velma.
That's shocker.
So,
Question
for me, because Ryder, you just piggyback off what you said, where the first introduction of the night. That night is in the front lawn of their house, of the Cromwell household of witches, where they're all in the house. And he's totally fine, and he can walk away. But when Cody comes to the house, and the witches have eyes in the back of their heads, it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's a problem I had through this entire movie. How did they not sense him in the night? How did they not sense him in the werewolf? Even in the first movie, they can sense each other and others without knowing someone's around. So, just terribly inconsistent.
Yeah. Maybe. Just hear me out here. The Cromwells are also fucking idiots.
Well, yeah. Is it possible, Crimson? You can totally. This might not be right. Is it possible that the other students around the vicinity block picking up? Because both of those instances, they're around like all the other students of monsters. It's not like an individual fine point of the werewolf or the knight. Or in the previous movies, it's like they're always around people, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing that refutes that is in the first movie during the Halloween party at Gwen's with like the neighborhood kids about to go trick or treating or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Sophie can sense that grandma's coming, so there's that.
One funny little note that I thought was funny, but it does have some character judgment implications. Is the thought they thought Aggie was going to roll up to school in a magic school bus instead of a clown car.
Yeah, she came in.
That's true.
Coming hot off the Italian job.
Yeah, that I enjoyed the comedy of it, of that particular, I guess, aspect. The family racing off because they realized, oh yeah, Aggie would actually do that because Aggie's,
especially Aggie in this movie.
Yeah, Aggie in this movie is really stupid. So, but I guess the one plus is that Aggie wasn't sidelined during the third act, because that's happened in previous films.
It's true.
Let's talk about a member of the family that didn't get any spotlight in this really at all, being Sophie.
Who? Oh yeah.
And she's not recast, right? That's her, just this much older?
That's her. Yeah. She's just there.
She's just sitting on the couch.
I think, oh, by the way, one of my fun facts about this is I think she retires from acting after this film.
Spoiler for the fourth movie, Ryder. Gosh.
Oh. No.
Yes. Yeah, there was some stuff with her in between films. So yes, this was the last Sophie movie, and this is what we got of her.
Man, such deep character work.
What a way good.
I really felt like she touched my soul.
Actually, great question. Does she damage her character at all in this movie?
By being inactive? Probably. She has no reason to really be at the school.
She's not in high school yet.
Yeah, the only part where if like there was a threat to the house, I think if she wouldn't do anything when that happened, I think I would have issues. But because there was no direct threat to the house, we can presume that she's off doing her own thing at her own school.
Oh shoot. This brings up the question again, doesn't it? Can Sophie be cut out of the movie?
Oh, this movie? Absolutely.
I was like, can we do that? Just cut her from one movie and not the franchise? Is that allowed?
I don't know. Crimson, is she in the fourth movie?
Let me ask you, yeah, is she relevant to the next movie?
She is name dropped in the fourth movie.
Well, she could have been name dropped in this one. She has like one line.
Yeah, I think the only thing to go for it is that because she's actually relevant to the first two films, I don't know if I would cut her, because then
Because
that
we
gets
had a
into
rule
how we deal with
in
franchises.
Twilight. Yeah, we had a rule in Twilight where we didn't remove characters to maintain continuity of their existence. We did that with
Okay. Then she stays.
Carlisle's wife and stuff.
Yeah.
So if this was isolated and didn't have the first two movies, I would 100% agree. Sophie would be cuttable.
Yeah, we set a rule.
But we got to
The
maintain
only thing
continuity.
she brings is if she was cut, where is she? That's it.
Yeah, because it'd be like she's in Halloweentown. I don't know. I mean, she's still too young to be out of the house. They would have to actually answer where she is the whole time. Let's see. Another issue I have, and it just so far has gotten worse in each movie. The first movie, they established there's no communication between worlds. There's nothing. The portal is the only link between two. If you need to convey something, you have to go through the portal. Second movie comes around, they introduce the headphones, which now allows them to talk across worlds, which is something Aggie invented. In this one, we have the witch's glasses, which sound like they've been established as means to catch witches.
Yeah, just FaceTime.
So they broke their continuity with the rules of communicating between worlds.
Is it like the vein of Twilight? Is it like the vein of Twilight where the further it goes along, it wasn't established prior, kind of thing?
I mean, yeah, it damages everything because they're now setting it up.
Unless it's specified to be a new technology or something new. Yeah, it's a damage.
Oh, I had that backwards.
Which is what the heads were. The heads were set up as new. The witch's glass is established to be existing.
Gotcha.
Which
is apologies.
Countering.
Yeah, it's established in the first movie.
I got a minor continuity error, if to jump to.
Well, absolutely.
When Ethan, I think, runs off to the school because he found Cassidy in his witch's glass.
Cassie, yeah.
Cassie. When he found Cassie in his witch's glass, when he ran off to the school. When he bursts into the room, Phil is playing with the ring, and when he bursts into the room, he drops the ring onto his desk, and he stands up, and then in the next shot, he's wearing the ring.
Magic.
Didn't even catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
Great shit.
Well, why did Calloway trap Cassie in Ethan's witch glass?
I don't know. And why was Ethan's witch glass just on its own in the lounge? Or where did he have access to it? I mean, I know it's his son, but
why would he let his son keep the witch glass after trapping somebody inside it?
It's just nothing to help with.
Nothing.
It's just a bad all the way around.
Yeah, what if Ethan turned on him then? Or went to the Cromwells?
What if Ethan just went to Aggie's like, I found her, I have no idea why she's here. And they would be suspicious of him, but he'd be like, yeah, fucking guard me. What? Why? It's just, I don't
Does
know
Ethan have any prior knowledge of what his dad's trying to do at that point? Because he runs to go to his dad to question it, but is there a reason for knowledge?
I mean, he's helping his dad with the dagger at the mall and something else that was I don't remember.
I guess, yeah.
So he's been helping his father. But more issues with this glass is they're like, we need a witch's glass, and then like, oh, Ethan has one, go get it. And then no one actually asks Ethan for it once he goes into his room.
Aggie goes up to talk to him and doesn't even ask for it. Good night.
Yeah.
And then
she watches him leave.
And then she's supposed to be just looming at the window as she watches him like she's some mastermind. I'm like,
I know.
That made me laugh. Like at this point, the film is trying to convince me that Aggie is a smart person. That made me laugh.
Oh, I'm the same. I'm like, she did not figure something out here. And at the end, when she's like, I knew it was you. I'm like, how the heck did you know? That was never conveyed to the audience that you figured out anything. You didn't know anything in this movie.
Yeah. I guess to go to a broader objective, and I blame everybody in the Cromwell family, and they all lost intelligent points for this. Why the fuck is Grandma teaching a science class and then a history class? Like, why is she teaching at
Is
all?
there a
I was about to say
school?
that. Why is she teaching?
Is there a school that allow? I mean, it's just because Phil has flirtation, like likes her. But can a teacher really go from a subject to a subject to a subject?
If they
Um,
have the credentials, they
yeah.
can change subjects.
The closest example I could think of into, I guess, real life is I had a substitute teacher teach like the same substitute teacher teach like 8 different classes over the course of a year. So like they were a favorite substitute teacher that the school called, who had good general knowledge and was good jack of all trades person that they just called in to fill in for these 8 different classes. The difference, of course, being is that they're a substitute teacher, not a actual mainline teacher, and it's not. It wouldn't be abnormal for a teacher to teach multiple subjects. It's just yeah, she gets a lot of leeway because Phil happens to like her.
And I mean, it is still unorthodox to change them like within days of being hired, because then you have to
Yeah,
find a replacement, which is a whole ordeal. Then you'd have to
But
get with
also, like, yeah,
substitutes to cover and everything.
where'd the last teacher go?
She's the purse.
She's the okay. I meant like she's the science teacher, and then Phil's like, "You're not gonna be the science teacher anymore. You're gonna be history. Where'd the history teacher go? Who's the new science teacher?" And it's like, "You're gonna be the PE
honestly,
teacher. Where'd the PE teacher go?"
You bring a decent point. I don't
yeah,
know where 3 teachers went.
yeah, that's a
Like
good
he's
point.
filling Aggie in. I'm guessing the science teacher started with Aggie because it's his first day of school. So I think she actually registered to be the science teacher. I don't know why she chose to be the science teacher,
Neither fucking do I.
but the school's year's going. It's already go. There's teachers for these previous days that have been in these classes. Where'd they go? Is Phil literally
Can
just
we talk
firing
about?
people for the sake
Can
of
we talk about
Aggie?
how? Yeah, apparently that's terrible.
We have to read into, yeah.
Yeah,
My objective's going down.
there's a lot here. We could talk about how Aggie. Well, you kind of touched on it, Crimson, a little bit, but I find her reasoning to be a lot more character assassinating than what she actually does, which is she scares a kid because she has a temper.
I-
That's her
Yeah.
reasoning.
That
she
is what she
tried.
gives as a
She
reason.
gets a temper because
Yeah,
she's just trying to get his attention.
yeah, and she's not. She's a bad
It's the
teacher anyway.
first
But
class, the first day of school, and a kid makes a comment, and she can't handle it.
yes, and she flips out and does like a spooky magic to scare him.
She's only
That to
hundreds of
me
years
was
old, guys. Come on.
very
She
much
has to be
character
mature.
assassin.
Yeah, she knows
Uh,
Columbus.
She knew Merlin. I don't know what the timeline for Merlin is.
She's been alone a long time.
Yeah.
uh, I
That's
did
sad.
drop a GIF in our React chat on Discord with a character saying, "What do I lose but problems?" Um, that is when Aggie and Marnie actually fight, or like, sorry,
Air
it was
quotes.
specifically when Aggie makes a
Yeah.
snide remark at Marnie after she leaves the council, and like they offered you the magic back and you didn't accept, and then it's like it wasn't yours to give away to begin with, and she just kind of walks off. That's when I had the feeling of like, what do I lose but problems? Because you've contributed nothing but problems to the story and to this character, and to Marnie's character.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because
I, I don't even know how she knew about it at that point.
yeah, I don't know how she knew
Um,
about it. I don't know why she took issue with it then, because it's been an issue the entire film that they would potentially lose the magic. So why is she being a petty fucker about it now?
she wasn't happy
Couldn't
the
tell you.
first time, but yeah, it's shockingly not good.
Marnie's responsible
Wow.
enough to solve her own problems.
What a
or
joke.
something.
What a joke.
Yeah. If it hasn't been clear yet, I think Aggie was character assassinated quite thoroughly in this film.
Yes. Let's see.
I'll touch on a good thing.
The thing Spring wants to talk about.
Good thing, go.
Okay. There's a really good transition I liked at 17 minutes and 51 seconds when Marnie's in the lounge and seeing that everyone's doing well. I think after she says like join clubs and she falls down into the couch and it cuts to her falling to the couch at home.
I
Yeah,
agree.
being
I actually wrote
happy
it
what
down.
she's achieved.
Yeah, I agree. I actually wrote that down. I quite liked it. I also enjoyed the fact that I like her bickering with Dylan. I just don't like that Dylan's abused by it. Like, I enjoy their bickering. I just don't like with Marnie, it just becomes abuse at a certain point.
I feel like they took one or two traits of Dylan from the previous movies and that's all they gave him in this.
Yeah, Dylan lost. Funny enough,
lost a
I think
flair.
Dylan lost it. He lost his flair and he lost his intelligence because he never put. He thought Natalie was a human or whatever.
Yeah. Was
He
the
was shocked
second
to find out
movie
he was a
Intelligence is like his
monster.
core traits.
the second movie is him at the party where he gets the broom to go help Marnie, right? By using the phones?
Sophie flies the broom. He's riding on it with her.
Okay.
But
But he's
yeah,
able to piece
he
things
wants-
together.
He has to convince him, but yeah, he does. He's proactive in that movie.
Okay.
Uh,
And that was just 9 months ago in this world.
approximately, yeah. Indeed.
Well, maybe crushing on trolls make you stupider. I guess I don't know.
Love does strange things, except for when it's not love and it's just a friend thing. Apparently, I don't know.
Something love something
Something.
Something unicorn milk.
Yeah, unicorn blood.
I have to go with the unicorn milk. Aggie didn't look before asking. Right? Because when she gets told, oh, I think there's some in the back of the fridge, she opens the fridge, immediately reaches in and grabs it right in front of her eyes. And then goes, oh, low fat.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to go with she asked without looking first.
And she
Well,
also
it
has
was,
eyes in the back of
with
her
her.
head, so
So,
She also
somewhat.
lived here for a year in the previous movie, so she would know where this stuff would be if they carry it.
yeah. And at this
Actually,
point,
why would
because
Gwen be having that if she's trying to keep magic out of the human world?
Because she's not.
well,
Things
you
change.
see, also character assassinated.
Darn unicorn milk.
Well, I point more to the hot chocolate bit than that for character assassinating because she straight up points it out that's a character trait she just fucking lost. Which would be something if like they told us that I don't know Aggie like they were all living together so she's getting used to magic again because they say in the first film that she's gonna help teach Marnie like magic and stuff, but we never really see her contributing to Marnie learning magic at all.
That was her
It's
full
all
purpose
Aggie.
for Marnie not to spend her whole like year in Halloweentown with Aggie. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'll help teach her. None of that.
Nothing we get to see.
And actually, I just remembered, Springs, you said that Marnie doesn't typically need to say incantations. She does say a couple incantations.
She does.
But
the
it's
fact
not
that
as frequent
Aggie
as-
uses them pretty much every time she uses a spell and Marnie doesn't.
Yeah.
Aggie's old fashioned. She likes to.
Aggie's a
Verbal.
level 2 spell
Really?
warlock witch. So
After 800 years or whatever, that's a problem.
level 2 is
Still
the only
level 2?
as high as we know. Maybe it stops at 3. Don't know. Because even Marnie says like she's 1.5 or something when Dylan comments.
Yeah.
So are there half points to magic?
Yeah, I mean, she's obviously being jokey that she's not good enough for 2, but she's feels like she should be a 2. Which she absolutely should be with the time travel spell she did last time.
No, that's a level 1 spell.
Yeah, everyone should be able to time travel.
Yeah. That's like day one kind of shit, you know.
Yeah,
Course,
she
I
can
don't know
time
why I've
travel,
stuck
but she
to it.
can't open a door. She shrinks a house.
That's a whole thing we haven't even tackled. They have time travel. Why didn't they go back and not say the giving up the magic?
The writers didn't think of
That's a
that.
good point.
Oh my gosh.
It's like the time turner. It's just it's present
Uh,
and they don't use it again.
And it's
everything's
easy time
fine.
travel. You don't need a machine or anything. You just have to say some words.
I just gotta point out that also it's very quick. Phil loses his limp as quick as he had it.
Oh yeah, he recovers.
You
Magic.
know, it's that inner knight in him pushing through the pain. You know?
Oh, his nobleness.
Man, what a great character arc that would have been.
But no, he's a bubbling fool who falls on the display with when the snake summons. I would imagine
Also, that was very
bringing
petty of Aggie, but that's kind of in character
extremely.
for her in this film at this point.
Phil, I would expect better from you.
Oh, because of
Imagine taking the moral high ground and then trying to kill him with a poisonous snake. It was
because of
very
Marnie's words of a hunch. It's like, oh
Yes,
yeah, just
send the killer bag.
I'm done with him. We've been dating for like 2 months now, but
He's dead to me. Oh, Aggie.
because Marnie believed the
Uh,
same with Cody, and then Cody was false. But then Aggie didn't make up with Phil because of Marnie's false accusation.
did you see the parallel they ran? Wasn't it great? Where Aggie's like, it could be Cody, Marnie, and it's like, no, but then they 180'd it where Marnie's like, hey, Granny, Phil could
Yeah.
be it. No,
Well,
he
boom,
can't
and
be
then
it.
guess what? Phil is, so Marnie's right. Cody wasn't, so Aggie was wrong, which proves into writer that Aggie was more of a villain.
like I said, that would
Ah,
be just one tiny change that you have to make. Is you just have to make everything intentional. And Aggie was probably the best character of all time in
I
this
mean,
film.
with what Crimson just said, she said intentionally to Marnie a way to get rid of the normal human dude out of her life.
if you want to make her this pure evil mastermind, sure.
No,
You
not
know what?
pure evil, but
This is gonna go down as the Tin Man, our new Tin Man story right here.
Grandma Aggie is not going to get a #1 grandma mug.
No, she's not. Uh,
She's hogging all
uh,
the magic from Halloweentown to herself. I mean, warlocks are trying to stop her, but she keeps
Yeah,
outsmarting them and not subverting them with her family.
but writer, don't forget, all her magic gets sucked out, but then she still has magic to take it back.
That's because she's been at it for years. She's got thousands of dead warlocks worth of magic in her.
No wonder
once the
she's
magic
fine killing
contract was broken,
Frankensteins.
they got their magic back. Let's talk about the absurdity of this haunted house and why they would even try to do a
Oh,
non-haunted
that
haunted house.
it's like a
Why are
Harry
they
Potter
booing
tent.
Dylan? He's right.
It's huge.
I know.
She did that in front of everybody, by the way.
No one
She
Yep.
cared. She was
talked
gonna
that
do it
into
without
existence.
Cody. She was gonna do it by herself around everyone. Cody distracted, but Cody already knew about magic at that time, so I don't know why the distraction did jack shit. And then she does it anyway.
Because she doesn't care. And the carnival's full of people setting up and preparing, so they would have just seen this thing appear.
Walls are difficult. Floors I can do.
And then how did
Yeah.
they solve the walls? Because the walls are fixed now. It's just a cut.
Well, they go inside and Aggie's there. Did she just teleport in there right when she built the thing?
Yeah, convenience. Speaking about convenient, I didn't even tackle on it earlier, but we're popcorn, so it's fine. The whole like council time, because it happens twice. The council time of like, hey, what time is the council thing? Gets sucked in, and Aggie goes, guess it's now.
Yep.
Yuck. And then there's a
Uh,
second instance of that where
I want to add on to that scene really quickly. Marnie just had the ability to banish them from her room, even though she's a level
hey,
one
make a
level one
level
spell.
Omega level threat, Marnie over here.
She can get rid of the whole council.
Listen, at this point, I think Marnie could beat Scarlet Witch.
I mean, yeah, she got her powers back. She stopped Agatha, and it's like, nah. I got the power. Even without power, I got the power.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Marnie as a level 3 witch against Scarlet Witch?
I can't even imagine what level 3 is. It's on a different plane of existence. Marnie would break the fourth dimension.
Is Wanda
Can't
Maximoff a
comprehend.
0.5 witch? Where'd she line up?
She's with Dylan.
Oh, well, she's got powers.
Ooh, brutal.
Dylan has powers. He sparkles. His fingers sparkle in the first movie.
I interrupted you, Springs. You were gonna take that somewhere else.
Oh, buddy, I don't know.
It's
This
lost
movie's a
then.
hot mess. I'm all over the place. I'm picking up strands of like spaghetti noodles here. They end and not connect, and I don't know where leads where.
You were talking about the council that appeared in her room.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, there was a second instance of a convenience of timing. That was it. Somewhere in my notes. It's towards the latter end of the movie. I don't know if it was with Edgar leaving and then coming back because of the witch's mirror. I don't know.
I'm sure it'll be jogged. Mine shall be jogged.
Yeah, I do have, I guess, a small point of. It's not really. If it was subjective, like there's nothing objective about this.
Oh,
I like that Marnie refers to the Canadians as her kids at some point, like because she's looking after them.
wow.
Yeah, look after you. Have you seen any of my
yes.
kids? And then points out Cassie.
Yeah.
I did find the part where they do it again is at the mall with Cody and Marnie, and they're sitting down, and Cody goes, "Wow, that's some line he says," and he's like, "It's been 15 minutes and you haven't run off." And Marnie goes, "Yeah," and then someone screams and she has to run off.
There's a lot of little.
That's for the humor. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a second time inconvenience of a line event line.
Oh, I got another one for you then, Springs. When Mommy Cromwell denies the existence of knights, immediately cuts to night on their lawn.
Yeah. Well, I guess, yeah, that's totally true. But that one plays a little more into the audience sake because they didn't see the night. Or know
And
it was
then
there.
Aggie's like, I suspect everybody except this one, and it's the one.
Yeah. Also, the mom, Cromwell, I don't know her name. I
just call her Mommy
Gwen.
Cromwell.
Yeah.
So
It's Gwen.
Gwen. When Gwen suspects someone's outside, she's the one to just use magic on a stranger.
I know, isn't that great? The one that
Such
doesn't
a-
use magic, pulling the
such
trigger.
Oh man, it's very, very great character continuity that they've established in this film.
It's funny, even in the shadow of him in the driveway, I could tell it was Cody.
Yeah, he's holding flowers too, and he's waving at,
Yeah.
at Gwen.
And then she
So she
fires.
just fucking hits him.
Boom.
She took that as a need to kill, need to attack.
I will say I haven't seen this movie in such a long time. I don't remember I remember very little of this movie. And there's a big chunk that I thought was in this movie. I guess it's in the next one. It's in the fourth one.
I was just about to ask how much of the fourth one do you remember? So.
I remember the timey-wimey bit. And I thought it was this movie.
Spoilers.
I'm sorry. You know what? The previous movie had timey-wimey stuff. This movie could have had timey-wimey stuff and didn't. Sorry that there's a possibility of timey-wimey in the next one.
Now Ryder's excited to dive into time travel in the next one.
Oh, sorry, Ryder. You gotta wait a year.
I can't wait to find an excuse not to show up next year. Yeah, you were saying about the timey-wimey stuff.
Again, plate of spaghetti. I don't.
Okay, no worries then. It's convenient that the school bullies happen to show up at the Halloween store right when the Halloween town people are just walking right by it.
Yeah, it's also weird
And
for a
just
high
saying
school.
a stupid line.
It's weird
Yeah,
a high school student's name of this movie is Mr. Miller. It just seems odd to me.
Well, we don't get his first name.
No.
So. We just have Aggie calling him Mr. Miller. And yeah, them just walking around saying, "Man, don't you just hate Halloween? Such a freak show!" Right in
Yeah.
front of the freak shows. I mean, come on.
So convenient. I mean, I guess that line is technically prompted by the Halloween store, which, by the
Oh,
way, when have you ever seen a Halloween store in a mall? I have to think this is the
I
first one for me.
have.
Inside of a mall, like
Yes.
interior
There was a
one.
Spirit Halloween inside of a mall.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen that. I've seen like take over old department stores and stuff like that for like the 3 odd
Oh,
months
yeah.
leading up to Halloween or the 1 odd
Strip
month.
malls.
But then again, sometimes when you're in a Spirit Halloween and you like peer behind the black curtain, you see all the emptiness of the mall or that store that had more room.
Oh. Okay, actually, you know what? I just remembered one. I have seen Spirit Halloween inside of a mall before. That was
And Hot Topic
funny
doesn't
enough,
count.
funny enough, not too far from the filming location for this.
Oh,
Small world.
Small world.
Let's see. We got a couple things here. The locker. Why the heck is that the secret meeting area? A locker that anyone in the hallway could see someone getting sucked into magically,
that's
instead of there just being a magic door.
good
Yeah.
question. It poses two things. A, the one you just said of anyone in the hallway can see that person get sucked in, which is probably what happened to Phil looking through the corner since it went into like his point of view watching Marnie. But on the flip side, how does someone inside know someone's looking in? Because Grandma Aggie just
Been
pulls
done.
Marnie.
You got the locker slits. I don't know. And another issue with it is every time they do it, the halls are empty. There's a very blatant one at 4615 where the hallways are full, and Cassie grabs Marnie and runs her to the locker, and
Because
a teacher says no running in the halls.
yeah,
And then we go to the locker, nobody's there. But
and that's not
the
true. There
bell
were
is
people in the
still
background.
ringing.
There were people
There's
there.
like 2 people in the far back, yeah.
Yeah.
But the hallways were full, and the bell is still ringing from Cassie grabbing her to the locker, which means it's within the same time frame. It's not a time jump.
Within 10 seconds, damn.
It's within the same bell ring.
Yeah,
So
which is impressive that all the students were just waiting right outside their classes instead of walking inside or hanging around.
Mhm.
It's almost like this is a fake high school. It's just
Excuse me? Why they have 30-year-old students?
Well,
Kinda-
two things
no,
pop in my
but-
mind, and they're not great examples. But one is 30-year-old students, Grease. Look at the cast there for high schoolers. Two,
funny enough, I was gonna go for Spider-Man for mine. Sam Raimi's.
that kind of works. Yeah. Two is first thing that pops in my head of a hallway while the bell's ringing, clearing up super fast. But I think it's just the joke since the movie. I believe that happens in Ferris Bueller.
Y'all are
I don't think there's a bell for it, but it also happens in Harry Potter with Ron and Harry being late to class in
Oh,
one of the
that's true.
earlier films. Oh yeah, when McGonagall turns from her cat form into a person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That was bloody brilliance.
Speaking about late to class, Marnie arrives late to science class, and isn't it convenient that the only seat available is next to Cody?
It is. I had that written.
That is
Quite
very
convenient.
convenient. It's
What a
also
very
convenient
Disney
that Aggie
thing.
happens to be teaching in that class.
That's true, but she doesn't do anything. She makes a parrot by combining iron and something.
But what is science? It's nothing.
It's magic.
Science is
No, it's science.
Science smice. All right, more with the Callaway stuff at the end here. I had no idea why he was turning monsters into reality. Why is that part of his plan? His plan was grab the powers, close the portal. Why does he need to reveal his presence by turning the dummies into monsters?
Yeah, why try to be evil at all? Just be there to
Chaos.
collect the debt and walk away.
Chaos.
100%.
Because someone in the back room making this movie is like, hey, how can we incorporate a 30-foot tall skeleton?
An ugly
Actually, that you
skeleton.
got that was Marnie with a misfire.
It was Marnie's choice to do that.
I-
I'm saying behind the crew is like, oh, Marnie will change a normal skeleton to the so.
I don't know why the spell kept changing too. Because when Aggie did it, it worked, and then Marnie did it 2 different ways, but said it the exact same way.
It's Leviosa, not Leviosa.
Yeah. I would agree if she said them differently, but she didn't.
That was a bad looking skeleton.
It
I got
was
a
not
tiny,
good.
tiny, tiny point of praise. Gwen comforting Marnie after the second council meeting, even though it's riddled with the problem of her using magic.
Oh,
I do think
yeah.
that's in character that we don't see much of.
It's
Yeah.
not as good as the Airbud comforting scene that we covered of seventh inning fetch or whatever of the mom and daughter.
Yeah.
I agree. But at least
Yeah.
it's something.
Well, because in the other 2 movies, Gwen and Marnie are always butting heads. There's never a calm discussion. Someone's mad at someone else, always. So it is nice to get a little breather with them there. It does stand out.
Shows that they are off screen still a mother and daughter and have maintained that relationship.
Sprinks, I have a question for you.
Oh boy, I can't wait to give you an answer.
How do you feel about having a Halloweentown movie that isn't in Halloweentown?
Oh my gosh. Crimson, you tackled one of my big 3 points I was going to bring up at the end. I have
Ah,
3 huge hitting subjectivity points that lower this movie immensely. One of them being there is no Halloweentown present at all. The only snippet we get is when they open a door when at, at, at the first day of school, and they open a door to, like, I guess get the Canadians to come through, and it shows the doors through the doorway. I guess that's the only bit we get of Halloween Town, or I guess the council meeting, but the council meeting's in a room. But the movie's called Halloweentown High, and the high school isn't in Halloween Town.
yeah.
Sorry, the silence is me, like, pulsing my eyes out of my head. Like, hello? We got a problem.
The way you said
Springs is trying to scare kids in science
My
class.
eyebrows
Okay?
are going up.
like, hello.
I think they missed the
Bringing out
ball
the feminine side with
somewhere.
that one.
There is no Halloween Town. Do you want me to hit my other 2 big subjective hits?
I guess if you want.
Another one.
I don't-
Where the hell is Benny? There's no Benny? Benny's one of the
Well, they're
greatest
on
characters.
Halloweentown.
I don't care. They have a skeleton. Bring Benny
Why would he
over.
be in high school?
Benny can be on a
He's not in
phone.
high school.
Benny can be in high school. Benny can do something because it's Benny. Where's Benny? No Benny? Big problem. And the third problem, maybe the biggest one, where the fuck is the theme song? It doesn't play at the beginning, doesn't play at the credits, doesn't play out through the movie. How criminal. That's a whole point knocked off just for that. That is disastrous. I think I've brought it
It's
up
a
in the
bit
last 2 coverage.
extreme.
I'm going on a tangent. I think the last 2 times we covered the last 2 movies, I said that was probably the best part about the movie is that theme song. It is so good. It's so iconic. It's so fitting. It's so toned. It's good theme. It's everything. It works well. And what did they choose in this one? Scrap it. Don't need it. Get it out of here. Let's get a 2000s cover of Let's Get Together and whatever the hell the credits song is, because those are better apparently to the music producers or whoever decided to make this movie. Terrible.
Oh, you can't have the Halloweentown theme without having Halloweentown.
Not
And you
true.
can't have Benny without Halloweentown.
No,
So
no.
the core issue seems to be no Halloweentown.
It's a big issue.
Hey, Ryder, you as passionate about these 3 points?
Not as passionate, but I do like the theme song. It's a shame that's not in here.
I have it in my podcast playlist. I
I'm
do
sorry,
listen
that
to it
sounded almost polar
fairly
opposite
frequently.
in in passion.
I mean, I like the song. It's just not here, and I miss it. That's pretty much all I have to say about it because I don't know what to add on your rant.
That's fine.
I don't like I definitely don't have the same feelings for the cab driver that you do. Greg, what is his name?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, break. There we
was
go.
that intentional, Ryder?
Yeah, Papa Joe.
Papa Benny. Oh, well, we went for this.
Is it Benny?
Hey,
Yeah.
Greg.
Alright. That's funny. No. I clearly don't have the same passion for Benny that you do, but I appreciate it.
And the third point: no Halloweentown in a Halloweentown movie.
I mean, they're stuck with the IP, so it's not optimal. The thing is, if they flipped it to where Marnie's like, I want humans to go to Halloweentown to learn, I think isn't as good of a concept as introducing humans or monsters to the human world. But it'd be an interesting avenue, I suppose.
But the monsters are still in human costumes. They could just put the humans in monster costumes. I feel like adding on more than a whole body skin.
Do you have any idea how expensive it would be to populate a school full of monsters?
Yeah, as
Way
much as
outside
the
their budget.
cast of the monsters in the first movie.
There was only like 15 monsters, maybe, in the first movie. Not that many monsters.
I just want to point out that to further degrade grandmother because she clearly needs it in this film. She's because she's bringing her back everywhere constantly with her. She's also contributing to potentially losing her family magic. That she's fully aware that they are going to potentially lose it.
Oh yeah, she would
doesn't
rather
care.
be mad at Marnie and just do the silent treatment than actually be proactive and save the magic she loves so passionately.
Yeah.
100%. And she's not like that in the other two movies, except with Gwen. She's pretty stubborn with Gwen in relations to training Marnie and Sophie and talking
Well,
about
in
Halloweentown.
previous films, so she was stubborn with Gwen. We don't really get much of them interacting in this one, other than like some light bickering of them blaming each other for being poor teachers to Marnie.
Yeah, that's true. That's about it. Odd.
You know what was odd? Seeing grandmother teaching gym class. Poor Dylan. No idea what's going through his mind.
Good on Phil.
Weird.
I mean, like, how was she going to screw up PE? Except apparently some kid loses an ear.
Yeah, and that didn't get to his attention.
No, it did not.
Maybe
Somehow.
Phil's also a bad principal.
No.
You don't say.
Want to speak it louder for the people in the back?
For the obtuse, sure. Maybe Phil is a bad principal.
Mighty big words.
He's
Yeah.
no knight in shining armor.
But you know what? I think the only moment where Cody came up to me as creepy is when he just suddenly pulled Marnie into the sports closet.
He was watching her. How did he
He was
know?
waiting.
He was waiting for her there.
He is a stalker.
But hey,
How-
he got the girl at the end. So
Oh.
that's all that matters.
Pooh. Way to go.
Cody, can
Cody,
do better,
our
I'm gonna be
protagonist,
honest.
fold Marnie.
Cody could do better.
Wow, what a
honestly.
big pull. Yeah.
I know. Pulling Marnie.
Did we ever get an explanation as to how Edgar snuck into the room of requirement?
Well,
they broke the locker.
Is that
it was said
how-
that only
I don't know.
humans can't access it. That's what Eggy
Oh, I see.
said. That there's a spell for humans not to enter, so he could have just done it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess
yeah,
Phil
that's
couldn't
fine.
enter, but Edgar did.
Phil can go up to the locker and knock on it, and everybody can hear it, but he can't actually enter.
Or wearing his suit of armor, I would hope.
It's
Well, at
funny.
least
It's
he's
funnier
definitely, he's
envisioning.
definitely wearing the gauntlet.
It's funnier envisioning that
That's
he's in
all
the
I
full
picture.
armor.
Oh, absolutely. It's so much funnier.
And someone goes, "What are you
If you
doing?" He
put
goes,
in the effort
"Halloween."
of just putting a glove. Yeah, trick or treat. Smell my feet. Just smell my feet, Aggie, please.
Whoa,
Jesus
whoa,
Christ.
whoa! Okay, Crimson. Whoa.
An added layer to fill right there.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Evidently, Phil is into feet. That is his fetish.
Whew.
Confirmed here on the podcast.
Hey, I guess going to a different point. When Aggie makes rain happen to wash away the dagger, and the rain's there for 2 minutes, it was enough to flood the football field.
You think rain is level 1 or level 2?
That's got to be a 1.4.
Controlling the weather is a 1.4?
I think so.
Controlling the weather's obviously harder than time travel, so 1.4.
Then again, magic is very
You're
finicky
right.
in a magic world. So how much points do we get? Is it
I mean,
1.4392?
And this is gonna be very weird, because it just reminded me we actually can control the weather in like real life, but we just don't do it because it's fucking expensive. And it's not to like a magical degree that you probably think, but there you can like control the weather enough to make it rain, snow, and stuff like that. It
Weather
has been done
machine.
historically once, to my knowledge.
I don't think Aggie has the funds to do that.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't think she has the scientific understanding either.
What?
Well, she'll
But she's a
know
science
what
teacher.
science is.
Parrot. Science.
She didn't even know where her kids were from. She didn't know the kids were all from Canada. That was.
I
She had
didn't
a
even like
note.
that. Like, where are they supposed to be from? Canada. I'm like, okay, where in Canada? When someone's like, oh, cool, what city in Canada?
Crimson
And they're
doesn't
like,
matter.
Oh,
Ontario.
there's
What
cities.
province? What
There's
city?
Providence. Yeah. It's like,
Montreal.
oh,
Montreal's a city. But yeah, I get you.
I'm from Japan, Canada. So
That would have been
pretty
funny.
good. Yeah. I mean, interesting.
You know what else is interesting? Oh, never mind. Whatever Crimson was going to say, got you. Ha.
Oh my gosh, you got me. The leprechaun pedals.
Oh.
Those guys. They can't see the road. First off, and secondly, how are they supposed to help driving anyways when they're not the ones steering or doing anything? They just press the gas or the brakes. How do they help Aggie at all driving? Because she could do that.
No, she can't. That's
When
why
to
she had
start
leprechauns.
and when to stop.
Yeah, she can't. She specifies.
That's
No.
the easiest part.
Crimson.
Starting and stopping.
Crimson, one never stopped until the very end. The other one had the gas going the entire time. And Aggie was just driving. She was just moving the wheel.
Who needs stoplights?
Not Aggie. She'll just turn them all green.
No, not it. Yeah. And why did she have to pick like the smallest car to where people have to hobble
'Cause
over
it's
the
funny.
seat to get out?
It's for the comedic bit.
It is. It's
Yeah.
what it's for.
Absolutely for the comedic bit.
You know what else is
In the
for
same way that they all
okay.
disappear when Cody came to pick her up for their date.
Oh, yeah. Just
Yeah.
where'd they all go?
Where'd they go?
Bingo. Something
Resident Evil
else.
4.
Thank you. Echo. Something weird that happened to me was the Foley used for the lunchroom eating of when Cassie's like identifying how to eat food in the human world, and all these guys are eating sandwiches that sound like they're made out of water. They're so don't emanate. It's good.
Emanate. I emanate. Red. Imitate.
Thank you. Imitate.
Emanate.
Oh, yeah, it was very much a.
It did not line up. It was gross.
Oh yeah, absolutely did not line up. It was like the most wet eating like sounds they could find to put over the film.
Over dry sandwiches. They look like normal sandwiches. Nothing's like spilling out of them or like full of juice or nothing.
Wet bread?
Didn't look like wet bread.
Yeah, it is eating sounds that are just very, very wet. Like the idea, they found the wettest eating sound that they could find and just played it on repeat. It's not the first thing I've come across that has played that cardinal sin, but it is one of them now.
Had a bowl of macaroni and was just stepping in it, and that's the audio they picked. Whoops, I'm emanating.
Sorry, looking at my notes, seeing other things. Hey, how
There's
could
other
you?
things?
Yeah, how if you were in charge of a camera, how would you display teenagers at a mall?
Kind of a weird question. Display kids at a mall? I mean, I would follow them, maybe with like a side tracking shot of them passing by the rooms or
Okay.
the store.
Okay, you wouldn't do zoom in, move camera left, down, right, zoom out, cut, zoom in, zoom right to like
Crazy
an
camera
old
angles. They're
90s
trying to make
commercial.
it feel like it's like an action thing. You know, it's gonna get the
An
blood
action thing.
pumping.
Girls picking up clothes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
maybe
that
an
sounded
action
bad,
thing.
but
It can be an action thing.
it can
it's just,
be.
It's just poorly portrayed because they even make the comment that I guess like malls are the same to teenagers in any world, which implies that Halloweentown has a mall, which is cool to think about. I'd be interested to go there.
And I like how Marnie's like, well, what's more human than a mall? And then I'm just like, malls are dying.
Oh,
Yeah, this is 20 years ago. This is before
I know.
Amazon.
But I'm just imagining them in the mall and they go, all these clothes are boring. These are all plain because they're not vibrant blues and greens and orange.
I need my striped Beetlejuice jacket. Where store is that?
Hot Topic is
Yeah, Marty, where's the Hot Topic?
That is.
Actually, that would have been cool to see the Halloween Towners react to Hot Topic. I think they would have loved that story.
You think the budget had licensing to connect that?
No, absolutely not.
What's this music?
No.
Let's see. Bad visual effects. The weird green-ish fog thing that Callaway did to hide the fight that was at the mall.
Oh, the purple
stupid
fog.
Fight.
Yeah.
Or that was purple. Whatever. I couldn't remember if it was purple or green. The purple fog didn't look good. So it was brought up that Ethan purposefully caused that fight to put the sword in. That was brought up when Callaway was talking to him with Phil in the principal's office. And that relies on him just starting a fight with a random person, but in this case, the random person just happened to be
a bully.
Mr. Miller, the bully from school.
I'm telling you, the only way that this evil plan works is if he thought of it right after Marnie offered the magic.
It kind of lines up
on the fly.
And even then, it still doesn't fit because you would have had 2 months to figure out something better than this.
Yeah, I'm like, it kind of reminds me of like a Scooby-Doo episode plot. Just the feel of it, like the dagger's there just to scare the kids to leave.
Scooby-Doo without all the charm? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I could see that. And then I think a positive for the visual effects, when they take off the skin suits, it's not that bad. Except for the fairy or whatever.
Usually my
The
measurement that I usually what I compare things to for when they're taking off the skin suits for looking bad for the time period, I always compare it to Doctor Who because there's both in the David Tennant both in the David Tennant era and also the Eccleston era mostly. There is the fart guys where they pull off the skin suits and kill a bunch of humans. Those look, you get away with it because they just show something very small, and then you just cut away and then cut back to them being like CGI or
Well,
a
they have like
monster.
a zipper on their forehead they pull down, and there's like a bright light coming through, so you don't actually have to see the transition.
Yeah, which is smart. I actually do think these look pretty good for the time. And mind you, Doctor Who had a TV budget, and this one has a movie budget, though we cannot confirm the size of that budget.
No,
No, I
no, we
feel
cannot.
I feel like the time area of this, when people were in costumes and everything, it was a lot of the costumes stuck to the character and pulled off. I'm thinking there's definitely other things. Did this ever happen in Looney Tunes Back in Action? Did
Yeah,
they
at the Blue
stretch?
Monkey, um, you had the buff guy unzip and turn into Taz, and you had him turn into Michael Jordan. So yeah, they had the skin suit thing in Nixon's Back in Action as
I think
well.
it's also in Master of Disguise. Master of Disguise. I think there's also like stretchy suit change stuff. Gosh, what am I thinking? Oh, the mask kind of does it. That's earlier, but like when he tears the mask, that sticks.
So not too bad for a Disney Channel movie, or in general, it's not too bad. I personally did not like the ogre visual aesthetic, the art for it. that
Oh,
The
I did
ogres
not
being
like.
blue.
you didn't like the
Uh,
Fooglies?
no, yeah, that's exactly what
That's what
he
he looks
was.
like.
The ogre was a fugly. Did not like the visual.
Am I thinking
Not a
of the
fan.
right? Am I thinking of the right ogre? Like the big blue
The
guy
blue
The
chest
blue
guy.
burster?
one who didn't like
Yeah,
to wrestle,
yeah,
but then eventually
yeah.
wrestled.
Because
Yeah,
you had to stereotype even in this film. This film's messaging is also botched, by the way. Can I talk about the themes that are completely botched in this film? Like
sure.
we talk lightly about Natalie and
We usually don't talk about pirates here.
yeah, I know Natalie and Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna because you're wearing that one for the rest of your life. There,
No,
Springs.
it's funny.
Um, but so Dylan and Natalie's story is supposed to be about accepting who you are, like like who you are underneath, like the real you, kind of. That's kind of the arc they're supposed to go on. They botch it by the fact of not only do they drop the romance, they also recognize that they're too ugly to ever fall in love, which is funny, but it completely botches the thematic elements that they were building up in that. Um, we have, uh, in the case of Chester, was clearly didn't want to do wrestling because he found that to be too stereotypical for, who he is as an ogre and stuff like that. Ends up doing it in order to befriend people, so he's not being his true to himself in order to, make friends. And gonna just move on down the line here. What was the football guy was told that he can't
Pete?
catch the football in his mouth and stuff like that, which is cool that he still catches it in his mouth, but he also is not being himself most of the time. Though I will say his is probably the most consistent theme because somebody stands up for him, not caring by the fact that he's just happens to be the best catcher that they've had, the best receiver that they've ever had.
Yeah.
And, a
He's
lot of
also,
times.
though, however, the one who takes it upon himself to remove his skin at the mall.
Chester did that too.
Well, after we're
Yeah.
following suit. But Pete did it first. And nothing provoked him to do that.
Well,
Yeah,
they called him something. What was it? Freak shows. That's enough.
I guess.
You know what? You got me there. There's something.
They're not freak shows.
I'm not gonna even go into the whole Cromwell thematics because I think the characters are too fucked to even start getting into themes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something.
How is everyone's notes looking?
Maybe half a page?
Okay, so a good amount still then.
Yeah, what about you, Crimson? How are you doing?
I will peruse while I imagine Sphinx goes next or your stuff.
Yeah, Springs, you're up.
Looking at my note here, when Pete yells when they're playing golf at the mall, whatever, and that girl looks over him. That girl likes a guy with a bit of a dog in him.
Oh
Just
yeah,
saying.
when they're playing
Yeah.
mini golf. Yeah. They're making friends. They're building relationships of all kinds.
Okay. I got
I'll go next.
one for later.
All right. Yeah, I'll go next. Ethan just kind of flipping 180. I mean, the intention is obviously that his dad crossed the line, but holding it onto that loyalty even to that point was absurd. Because clearly, Daddy never loved him. By the way, his dad is just like, oh, disappointment through to the end.
To the very end.
I really do find it funny the shot of Ethan standing behind his dad in the haunted house.
Like he's hiding.
He's
That
hiding.
was funny.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. All right. It's now later. Crimson, go.
Oh, sweet. Before that, do you like Ethan as a character? Do you enjoy him?
I don't like any character in this film, pretty much.
Oh,
So
okay.
the closest character
I
I got
don't
to
ask
liking.
for anything in particular. Wink, wink, audience. No reason whatsoever.
The only character I think I liked in the film was
Phil.
probably I like the concept of Phil. There you go.
All right. My point is, I actually don't think there's any knights left. I don't think Calloway was. Whether or not Phil is real or not, I don't know. But I think Calloway's correct in that there's no knights left. Because we've had witches in the human world, and they haven't been dispatched by knights.
And we have evil warlocks in the world in the face of Cal. Or maybe that's what happened to Cal. Cal has just been
I got hunted
fighting
by the
them
knights.
constantly.
He's the Sirius Black of the Halloweentown world.
That's way too much for him. Too much credit.
And then the knights are the Dementors.
Comparing him to Sirius. Ooh.
How could you compare that actor to Gary Oldman? It's so.
Well, you see,
Or you see.
Cal was a chameleon because he had the face of a good guy and shifted to a bad guy. He also put his face in weird walls and cubes. And
Yeah.
Very Doctor Who of him, yes.
So yeah, it's an apt comparison. Maybe.
Maybe.
I guess. Sirius Black showing up as fire.
That's just like Calabar.
Chocolate bar,
Springs?
Oh boy. After the purple fog clears in the mall and they're all standing, in their monster forms, they could have totally passed as working for the store and just like blended in. That they're just like, for Halloween in costumes, except for the wood nymph.
Well, the wood nymph is small enough to just hide.
Yes, but if they're all apparent and about. If she hid, totally fine, and they could play it off.
Also, that just grows into the Cromwells being stupid because any one of them could have suggested, all right, we'll fix this, just pretend you work here.
Yeah. But they didn't. And there's panic.
Yeah, it's even in the news.
So
yeah, that's true. It made the news.
I don't understand what Gwen was supposed to do. And the plan was her to go into a witching glass, and from the witching glass, she can go into other witching glasses to find Cassie.
They're all connected. It's like a mirror world. Is it like a mirror world in Sorcerer's Apprentice? Like you can enter it, but you can exit out of like any available
mirror dimension from Doctor Strange as well. Fuck if I know.
I mean, that would help. Like Cass would go to Ethan's mirror if they can go to whatever mirrors they want. She would go to his.
Aggie has her own mirror.
Just go to Aggie's.
Just go there.
Yeah, but Ethan's her friend.
Maybe Cassie doesn't know how to traverse in the Mirrorverse, and that's why she feels trapped. Maybe there's like a certain way of traversal.
It's also convenient the way that she just shows up at the end of the film. By the way, and everything
wonderfully
timed for Gwen to show up and help them get their magic back. She also didn't lose her magic, but isn't she part of the contract?
Yes, but I don't think she was there when Edgar took the powers.
So the contract is essentially worthless if you're not there. Okay.
Sure. I think there's a possibility that Edgar like rewrit some of the contract stuff after he left or told Marnie to leave, like pushed her out of the council room because, as we said, he developed his plan there maybe, and then like wrote extra stuff like all the power goes to me and not the rest of the council and blah blah blah.
Is that why the council quote unquote turns on him?
Possibly.
That would help. Shame it's not there.
I wrote something down that I think is racist in the movie.
Okay.
It's during the second council meeting when they're in Marnie's bedroom, even though it's the council with it's just a bad green screen bed or something. It looks very flat. The caterpillar man, I think, screams at Marnie and says, "Listen, you little halfling." Is that a racist remark?
In their
It's just
society,
like shouting about blood. I suppose so.
I don't think it would be racist, but it would definitely be somethingist.
It would be degrading.
It would be is
Some
meant to be
sort.
degrading.
Okay, I guess it just brings up if it would stand more if halflings are like a monster in the Halloweentown, right?
Uh,
Or no?
I guess.
Like they're an existing monster, then they're their own race. It would come across that way.
A halfling, I would imagine, would just be whatever Halloweentown creature plus human.
Okay. The way I
Like
saw it
if you
was
had
just
an
a
ogre
monster,
human hybrid, they would be a halfling,
unless
but they
well,
would still.
unless I'm confusing it like an ogre, a witch, a goblin. All those are just monsters, and they all are encompassed in one scene race, and it's just against humans.
They are seen as a collective people, but I think they separate each other as well. I don't know if they're like Faunus in Ruby.
I don't
If you
know.
take two different Faunus, you get a random Faunus, but you
It
get
just sounded like a
one
monster was
Faunus and
calling a
human.
monster another monster.
Uh, yeah, I mean, some sort of degrading. I don't really know the hierarchy or the definition in Halloweentown for a halfling.
Uh,
I'll go to history class with Aggie, where
Alright.
her first lesson is chapter 15 instead of chapter 1.
we don't know
Now,
how
it's
many days
not,
went
Oh,
by.
that happens in classes.
I was going to say, it's not impossible, but I don't know why they bothered doing that in this. They could have just had it start at chapter 1.
It's just further highlighting Aggie's uselessness in this
Yeah,
story.
making her look more aloof.
And do you think she was the Mona Lisa, or she just knows about the Mona Lisa? I couldn't tell.
I think
Weird.
she just knows the Mona
Oh,
Lisa.
I think she
I'm
just
not gonna say.
knows.
Yeah, I'm not
It sound-
convinced the fact that she was the Mona Lisa.
Oh, I'm like Crimson. It sounded like she was implying that she was.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't pick that up.
I definitely got a little bit of that implication, but honestly, to help the film, I'm just assuming that wasn't the implication. This film
Alright.
doesn't need help in being worse, to be honest.
No.
She got around.
Yeah.
I find it funny. You know what? One thing that didn't age well? Marnie getting annoyed with Grandma talking about how Columbus didn't discover America.
I suppose that is dated.
That is very dated because that I don't know why she's interrupting her because that's true.
Wasn't true at the
Yeah,
time.
this was 2004.
Hey,
Like I
dude,
said, it was more accepted back then. I
Pluto's
think
a
it's the
planet.
train. Yeah, I think it's when Pluto becomes a planet, it's one of the great shifts in our history where our timeline diverged.
Yeah, you got BP and AP before Pluto and after Pluto.
Sounds like BBY and ABBY
Oh,
before the Battle of Yavin, after the Battle of Yavin. The entire
Oh,
Star Wars timeline is based around
yeah,
that.
Crimson. Come on. Don't be suffering.
You know
Stop being a
what?
nerf herder.
How
That was
dare you?
good. High five, Chris Brooks.
Sorry, I let out the big N. Just perusing my notes here. Are you guys both happy to see Sad Seattle Blue return in a different film? When Marnie and Cody are on their broom ride?
Oh, like what scene are you talking about?
They are
I think we got to be
drenched in blue.
careful about what we call Sad Seattle Blue because it's a very distinct blue. I wouldn't call every blue Sad
No.
Seattle Blue.
It was a joke. This is a lot darker of a shade.
Yeah.
It's to show it's
Yeah,
night.
I just meant like another whole shaded scene in blue. Sorry, it's not exactly Sad Seattle Blue,
It's
but they are saturated.
it's not great. Yeah, it's certainly artificial.
Yes, especially since they're passing by the moon and the moon's emitting no light onto them.
And also, Cody is really out of it to not notice his feet are dangling, and that he should be fucking really cold right about now. And
Why is it so windy?
He's fine.
yeah.
And
She
Marty's
has
just
some
laughing.
air. She has some air spell around them that's preventing the wind from blowing through their hair.
Yes, a level one spell, mind you.
Oh, and the balance of the man to, while sleeping, sit there on a stick and not just fall over to the sides.
Yeah, not just start falling to their death.
More magic.
Yeah, maybe Marnie put a leather strap around them.
Broom seatbelts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Yeah. I have a question that's more funny. Who would be better at Quidditch, Marnie or Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
Well, let's go with the correct answer of Marnie because everything she does is good and right. Okay. So
I actually would be interested in seeing like a.
Ooh. You know what? You have to define it a little more. What position are they playing?
are they beatas, seekers, chases, or whatever?
Goalkeepers. Let's go with that.
Ooh. Maybe Marnie.
I think Seeker is probably the only thing that. Well, I think Seeker and Beater, I think would be going Potter's favor. I think Marnie could probably best him at everything else.
I'll agree with the assessment. Let's see. Oh, I got a dumb Eggy moment.
No
It's
way.
been a while since I've thrown out one of those.
Another one. Oh boy.
I know. How about the first banging on the lockers and her excuse is, oh, it must be the pipes. The magic is settling in. What? It must be the pipes.
Oh,
Yeah.
let me make this worse for you, Crimson. It's thrown out there that she put defensive spells out to detect things around her room of requirement.
Yeah,
Uh,
Ryder.
she says
Those
it's the
defensive spells are
pipes.
called pipes.
Yeah, her pipes are going. So that was just really stupid. Didn't like that at all.
What
And
if it's a
I
student?
guess another
Like,
it could be a student. It could be Cody trying to get into Marnie's locker. Could be the
could be
weirdo.
Dylan. Dylan wasn't in that room, was he?
It'd be Phil, because Phil, we've already seen Phil knocking.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
it-
quote unquote,
it
it
is Phil.
was Phil, but
Yeah.
Dylan's a
literally
magic
could be
user.
anyone.
I'm just saying who's allowed in that room.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
Dylan can't go in there, can he?
He's a magic
He's a
user.
warlock.
He could.
We just
if
don't
he
see him
knows
in
how
there
to.
ever.
No.
Yeah, he's never in. He doesn't use magic,
But they
so
never
he probably
question.
doesn't know
It's
how
like,
to. But he
what do you know
could.
that's not Dylan? And then if they question it
Yeah.
any way where Aggie would like use something to look at who's knocking, it would ruin everything.
Yeah, so
We gotta. I brought up the Dylan aspect of the nobody loves him in this family and why he gets left out at night. But we also have to talk about the fact that Marty can just turn off gravity for
Level 1 spell.
level 1 spell for
level 1.1 actually.
for an
counter.
enduring amount of time. So
we
passively.
never get the answer of how he got down or who helped
I'm
him.
sure they saw him in the morning.
Yeah, but did it wear off?
It's implied that Marnie let him down because Marnie apologizes for leaving him out.
Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't
Sorry, not sorry.
know.
Calloway,
But
I think,
Yeah.
slipped up at the council at one point, where he brings up, "Why didn't you warn us about the first incident?" At which point they were not informed about an incident yet, the council. So how did Calloway know? We know because
Ooh,
he's the bad guy.
he's got a
But the
The
council
the best
wouldn't.
assumption is that Ethan told him.
well,
I don't have a
true,
problem
but
that
that's
he
not news to the
knows.
council.
Yeah. Council would be like, "How do you know this, Calloway?"
And then he goes time travel.
Yeah.
Level 1 spell. You should know
I
it.
stole Aggie's time travel spell, which is against the code of Merlin.
Also, can only witches and warlocks cast spells? Like an ogre
I would
can't,
guess.
or
Not enough info in the world, I don't know.
okay.
I don't really see anyone else use magic unless you count like the nymph flying and stuff as
I
magic.
don't think I'd count that.
I don't know.
I'd count that her, I guess her whole human form size. It's like the Men in Black alien, like a tiny little alien taking over a whole body kind of thing for her.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the suits, would you consider them as magical items or are they using magic to
I
use them?
don't know. But they're not
Couldn't
like
tell.
putting them on like costumes. They're literally pulling them off like taffy off of their flesh. I don't know.
I assume it's like a magical item because that's the only way it would work in this world.
Yeah, they're not unzipping or velcroing.
Springs, you had half a page. Why don't you go there?
Yeah. I'll just tag on a little earlier. Crimson, you brought up like, do we like any characters in this movie? And Ryder said he didn't like any, and I think I only
I
like
like the
one
concept of
character.
Phil.
I think the only character I think I like is Natalie because I think she sticks to her guns of who she is the entirety of the movie.
Oh, in terms of objectivity?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she really changes at all. She doesn't like the look of
Yeah,
humans. Still sticks to that.
I'd probably agree with that because every Cromwell character is damaged except Sophie from the preceding films.
Yeah.
Um,
And Natalie's like, it's important what's on the inside, that you're kind and respected, and thanks Dylan for that. And that's kind of just how it's stuck with for her.
I'd probably agree with that. I think Natalie would be the choice for best character because we don't even really know what club she ended up in, so there's no breaking of themes regarding that either.
So it was oh no, she was in she's in a club because Dylan says vice president as a correction, right?
Oh
Co-president.
yeah, what club are they in? I don't remember. It was like
Was it physics?
maybe
Physics
it was
club?
the physics club, something sciencey because they're both nerds.
Yeah. Something like that.
I mean that as a compliment and descriptor, not an insult.
I'm an AP, you're an AP. Geeks.
Yep. What about you, Crimson? Character?
My favorite would have to be Calloway. Even though his plans suck, everything revolving around him is pretty bad. I just enjoyed his presence. I think
That's
the
fair.
actor made it enjoyable for me.
Yeah. So who was your pick for objective character?
It would probably be Natalie. She is consistent. She's present in the story to not just be a nothing background like Wolf Boy, but she's not overbearing to the point where she causes issues with herself either. So they put her right in the perfect middle ground where they can't screw her up.
Good on you, writers. You managed to get something right, even if it wasn't intentional.
Well, I'm like, is it good that they just didn't give enough screen time? Or
They saved themselves by not giving her more screen time.
that's actually a note I did write down that they gave Marnie and Cody plenty of scenes, but no time.
Does a straw have one or two
Hold
holes?
on. I think I just caught Natalie looking at the camera.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Isn't there a part where like Edgar almost looks at the camera, kinda like revealing his plan to Phil and
Okay,
his
all right.
son?
She does look at the camera. I just double check. I thought she did.
Oh, she does?
She does
That
not.
does not.
Oh, phew.
I was
Okay.
looking at an hour, 8 minutes, and 25 seconds ish. It's kind of that little scene. I thought, by the way that it moved, I thought she did look at the camera once, but she didn't. So positivity. You didn't fuck up. You don't get points for that, but you don't lose
You don't
any
lose
either.
points.
At the carnival, the Halloween parade place.
Carnival.
Yeah, carnival. It's kind of like panning around, showing the booths, and then to the haunted house, and then it cuts to a fire juggler, and then cuts back to the story. Makes me really believe 90% that fire juggler is like a family friend.
He's got some screen time.
He got his own dedicated shot.
It could have just been an establishing shot because there's a lot of
That's what I was
fun
thinking.
things like that happens at carnivals. So, but I see what you mean. It could be a family friend. Nothing disproving it.
Let's see. Compliment.
Ooh,
We
rarity.
have decent broom effects, especially compared to the previous two. Each movie's gotten better with the broom effects.
That's fair. Yes.
Yeah, the first one's
I think
green
the magic
screen
effects in
was-
general have improved slowly.
Yes, I can agree with that. I think the
Sure.
worst broom effects is the final one, when they're in the sky.
Oh, the bewitched
But
looking one? Yeah.
yeah, that one, the worst. But Cody being introduced to magic and on the broom, that's not too bad.
No. I remember the first movie with the green screen of like the daytime flight that
Oh yeah.
Marnie and Aggie were like blurred, which shows like the camera quality difference between what's being used as a green screen and them. Not great.
It's been so long since that part. And there was a fact whether that was the first or the last thing they filmed, the broom riding.
Oh, that's
I don't
right.
remember which. It was either the first or the last thing they filmed. Something. Check out our coverage.
Oh, good pitch.
Oh, the-
Yeah.
um,
The guy, I don't know what monster it is, the guy with a torch running around like causing chaos.
Yeah,
And he
fire.
lights a
fire.
fire.
Huh.
His first bit of lighting the fire works well. The second bit lights itself before the torch gets there.
Yeah, it's a bit preemptive.
that's true. Also, the good character mode to come out of that, I think Cody is the one to put that fire out.
Oh, with the fire
He
extinguisher?
is?
Yeah.
Good. Even more
Yeah.
stalking around Marnie.
I thought you were good witches. Wham, wham, wham. Cry, cry, cry. Cody.
They're murdering people.
From his point of view, yeah. Well, Marnie certainly is with fucking making giant Skeletor monster over there.
Duplicating beasts. Amplifying fires. All the things.
I guess I have this is not really a point, but I have questions. Springs, what was your first timestamp and your third timestamp for this movie?
Oh, that I put
'Cause
in like the
you-
chat
you-
thing?
Yeah, because you used one of my classical memes for.
Yeah, yours was. Unfortunately, I didn't write it in my notes. It was. I think it was Marnie doing the whole. Because to the audience, it's an image of a guy like being confused of what he's looking at on a piece of paper, and to me, I incorporate that to write out like the script being weird. So I had that. I think with Marnie telling Cody, "I can't help you. I'm helping other people."
Oh, I see. There's this straight confusion of her character because he's wanting to join on the tour, but she's just not letting him.
Yeah. On the first
That's
day,
fair.
and he's lost as well.
Yeah.
The other one was the rain, just coming and going, but for some reason, one little spot in the football field was flooded.
Yeah, I the third one was your Harry Potter one. I was asking about that one.
The third one was oh shoot, there was something that really reminded me of the port key, and I think it was like Aggie telling everyone to get to the car.
Oh, maybe.
Like everyone
Like
gets a
Like
card, but
together.
but Marnie, you something something, which would just remind me of everyone gets the part key. George or Ron Harry's your responsibility or something.
That's fair. All right. Crimson, what was your one timestamp for the movie?
Have a good guess.
What do you mean, you people?
Was it in the
It,
haunted
it,
house?
Oh
it was
yeah.
in the haunted
Never mind.
house when Cody's standing up for the monsters
Oh yeah.
and
Okay.
called out the humans as you guys, and I'm like, that's funny. I like
That's
that.
true. That was good. Yeah. Okay. I was just curious.
Cody's speech sucked. We haven't really talked about that. That was.
Oh. Okay.
It's like a child wrote that.
Okay. Now here's the kicker. Is Falcon and the Winter Soldier's speech worse than this, or is this worse?
I can tell you, I remember Cody's speech.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, I know I just despise. I don't know which one's
That was
technically
pure.
worse.
That was pure hatred. I understand, but which one is worse? I think this one might be worse because acting
Oh,
wise, delivery.
you know what? I really had
Well,
to
this
think.
one actually makes sense though.
Redder, I honestly had to think what speech you were talking about. In
Oh,
Falcon Winter
I'm
Soldier.
Yeah,
I
do
didn't.
referring to
better,
Falcons.
Senator.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
Yeah, do better, Senator. No, I think this one's better because Falcon Winter Soldier, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just spouting nonsense.
Well,
At
neither does
least
Cody
Cody,
here. It's implied that he does, but it's not really supporting that he
there's
does.
a level of sense involved. You can follow the lines he's drawing. Falcon's not drawing lines; he's just making speech bubbles.
No, he's not. He's
I,
not drawing lines. He's destroying them. Weren't you paying attention?
Falcon's
he's
speech
erasing
reminds
them.
me more of like a Velma writing bit, or it's just
Alright.
nonsensical to a character's mixed point of view or something like that. But Cody actually has it's not strong, but he's a high school boy just trying to do well and be there for Marnie. So
Alright,
I'm gonna go with Cody's.
So
is
we
better.
agree that Cody's is better, edges out Falcon and Winter Soldier's.
Yeah.
So, all right, I agree with that.
It tops the lowest bar you could have brought up. So
Yeah, exactly.
congratulations.
We need comparisons, okay?
Hey,
So sometimes you bring in the
I don't
lowest
know.
bar.
Falcon's
Like
speech
if I'm
might
comparing
be.
if I'm comparing Cody to Theoden,
Oh God! Oh, stop! But I was like,
it would make his look pretty bad by
I think,
comparison.
yeah, but Falcon's speech is better than what Velma says in that cliff with Daphne when they're trapped with the rock.
That's probably true. I don't remember that speech that Velma gave because I blocked most of that out.
Yeah.
I went on an alcoholic retreat because of Velma.
Oh,
Not
I
many
know.
things can do that.
I have a point towards the end when Aggie uses her magic to take all the magical chaos that happened at the carnival away, right before the mob and Phil says they're evil. When she does that, all the humans stop moving too. She
Well, yeah, it's for the
stops
visual
everyone.
effects.
It's suddenly peace across the land.
Yeah, but people being chased by the monster and the monster disappears doesn't know the monster's gone.
If we're going to talk about how useless Aggie is, she used her magic powers on Edgar, and Edgar just kind of reappears inside the Halloween house.
Oh, I thought I touched. Yeah, I thought I touched on that earlier. I think that was simply just opening a hole in the top of the haunted house and dropping him in.
What a worthless spell to use, Aggie. Aggie continues to be a worthless character. So that's all I got from that.
I'm
I guess
that's essentially. I'm like, it would be, if it was a portal back to Halloweentown. That's something. I don't think that's what it was.
No, I don't think that's what it was either.
He just gets sucked into the haunted house.
He's just a better warlock than Gran is of Wit.
Ooh. In this movie, I think Aggie in Halloweentown 1 could kick his ass.
I mean, Aggie in Halloweentown 1 is terrible too.
I mean, yeah, but at least she's a little better.
She gets one shot by Calabar.
Kind of touching a little bit on the whole fake fight that she has with Marnie about the 180, as it were, that she was accusing Marnie's red herring boyfriend of being evil, but she never really put two and two that also Phil was in every single place that she brings up with Marnie as a reason to accuse.
You can't accuse the principal.
Yeah,
Sure, why is Phil at the mall?
yeah. She never questions it, and again, it's just more character assassination after her being really really stupid. So
Let's see. I'm running out of. I have 3, 4, 1.
Go right ahead.
All right. Calloway. Why does he get the powers? Why is that the contract?
I don't
Well,
know.
Because he rewrote it.
we have no evidence that he rewrote anything.
We don't have evidence
Uh,
that's what's on the contract.
Yeah, it's just they lose their powers, which I would imagine goes to the council for something. I don't know. I don't know why it would go to one council member.
But even still, the whole council knows of this situation that at midnight, and Crimson, you had pointed out earlier that it was after midnight when it happened. How come the council didn't arrive at midnight to tell them, and they arrived later?
The
You know
best faith
what?
interpretation is
They're
that
bad.
Gwen got them in on the situation.
Oh, so even still, saving Halloweentown yet again, they didn't care about Marnie unless they were informed.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. Let's see another point. What happened for Marnie and Aggie to be okay with each other? They kind of just flipped to being okay with each other.
Oh, Phil just came up and we started being sus. That's what happened.
Yeah, they both took out their boy problem.
Like, you know what? Uh, Marnie, I'm so happy you gave up our magic, and I'm just dropping this because you dropped a hint that my boyfriend might be bad, and I have no evidence up to this point, and I
It's
never
a
noticed.
family-friendly movie. That's all I can give you as an excuse as to why they just evaporated what was already supporting drama. They tacked on the drama out of nowhere and then just immediately evaporated it, which is really, really fucking annoying.
I guess the last one I have, and I think I said it before we started, so I'll make it official. The line of Marnie even saying, "I bet all Cromwell magic," is just so dumb. It's not natural.
She
That
was
is not a
so
natural line.
hot-headed at the
It
beginning
would
of
be
this
so
movie.
much if they were gonna try something like that. Yeah, that's why she's self-absorbed and an idiot. But if there was something they were gonna try that avenue, it would be something. I bet my magic would sound so much more
I was
natural
just about to
off the
say
tongue.
that. Yeah, you wouldn't say Cromwell magic, my magic, and even then, that's a weird thing to say, anyways.
Yeah,
Well, weak writing,
weak writing, shocker.
shocker.
I'm out of notes, so I'll turn this over to Sprinks if you got any you'd like to lead off with.
You know what? Looking
Before
at my
we
notes, I've covered everything we've already talked about. Being popcorn, I think I've tackled
hell
everything.
yeah, then I guess we're done with Halloween Town coverage. Should we move into ratings and summaries, gentlemen?
Why do you sound happy?
Why do you
Because
sound rushed?
because I'm at the end.
Crimson, did you have anything
Yeah, I'm
else?
ready.
Okay.
No, not
He already
no.
said that he was done, so it's,
I
I
am
didn't
not.
rush. I asked him first, Springs.
All right, just double checking. Sorry.
All right. Well, summary and ratings. Crimson, why don't you start us out?
I was terrified you were going to say that.
I'm sure you
Ah,
were.
Halloweentown High, the
Let me
third
put it
of
this
the
way.
installment here of 4.
Yeah.
Hmm?
I said, let me put it this way. Maybe if you weren't passive aggressive to me all week about it, you wouldn't be going first.
Passive aggressive. I was being positive. And
Yeah, go on.
leave it at that. All right. So what we have here is a movie that is a Halloween movie, kind of. It takes place on
In
Halloween.
quotes.
There's a Halloween festival, and there are monsters. Halloween box ticked. I'll go with my subjective. As I mentioned, this is one I have seen only a couple times. Usually do not continue on our Halloween Town marathon, my sister and I, for a reason, because it's not good. It's not great. Uh, I do even though we bashed the heck out of this film, there is nostalgia attached to this film. It is a childhood film. I do enjoy it to a degree, and it is still watchable. It doesn't annoy me in any way to dispel me from watching it altogether. So maybe shockingly, I don't know. I have it at a 5.5. It's watchable. I will most likely watch it before I die, unless I die today. Who knows? Let's see. Objectively, would it be easier just to list the positives and just say everything else is bad? I might do
Probably, yeah.
that. uh, Natalie didn't get butchered, except for her relationship with Dylan. I feel like did get butchered at the end, but that she was steadfast in her beliefs all the way through, so she was fine. Dylan was off on the friendship thing. Uh, I agree that every Cromwell was damaged except for Sophie, because Sophie just wasn't really in this movie. She just came for a paycheck, and I hope it was a good one, being her last one for this franchise. Uh, I think the visual effects in large are acceptable. The skeleton is not good. The final flight is not good, but the skin suits that is good. That is some decent visual effects. The final big spell Aggie did, the blue beam of light that cascaded across the carnival. I liked the visual of it. It's quite simple. I think it's visually looks okay. It does its job. Uh, Having everyone freeze for the shot was purely, I imagine, for the VFX to be easier, to, so they don't have to draw mask them moving and stuff, because that's a lot they'd have to do. Uh, Phil is a character that had great potential, and I'm sure Ryder will talk heavily. Yeah, he already has, but I'm not going to go deeper. Could have been far better. Ethan was just terrible. He should have turned earlier. We should have gotten more with his father that's less like vindictive from the father's side, so it could be believable that he would actually listen to him,
That
because
would be
every
nice,
scene
yeah.
is him bashing him. So it's not great on that front. Um, Other stuff. I think the costumes were okay, being the Canadians. And even though I didn't like the design personally of the ogre, it was actually a decent costume. The Canadians look good. The monsters that came out of the haunted house looked fine. I don't know. So there's a lot of bad, mostly pertaining to the writing side of things. The music is very safe, even though it doesn't have the theme. I don't view that as objectively bad because it doesn't have the theme. Music fits. It's just not creative, and that's all that's really saving it. Really, is everything that isn't the writing is keeping it a little bit higher than normal. And I did compare it to my first and second movie ratings, which were already low. First one being a 4, second one being a 4.5 objectively. This one I'm giving a 2.5, and that's it.
Wow.
All right. Um, Eeny, meeny, miny, me. I'll go next. Um, I will start with my subjective. Um, I think there was a lot of nostalgic charm in Halloweentown 1 and Halloweentown 2. I remember enjoying my time with those films. Um, that charm was gone for this one, for a majority of it. And I think a fair amount of that is due to the fact that we aren't in Halloweentown and it's crossed over the real world, which has brought over millennia worth of problems into into the story just by virtue of that change. Um, I am at a 3 subjectively. I didn't enjoy this. I don't. It's not quite at hate for me, but it's quite approaching that. I'm not gonna actively seek to watch this film ever again. You'd have to pretty much bribe me and give me drinks to want to see this film again. Um, don't didn't enjoy it, didn't like it, um, which is a shame because I actually did enjoy the other two, uh, quite a bit. Uh, Now to on objective. I started at a 3 at the beginning of this podcast. It has since gotten worse. Um,
Oh, was it something I
Unsurprisingly.
said?
Something everybody said at some point. Let me start with the positives. Um, I like the idea and concept behind Phil's character. I think it's horribly executed. I think there's a lot of potential that could have been utilized. Again, poorly executed. But the concept was there for me to appreciate, and that it's not nothing. Considering it's Phil's first outing and presumably only outing in the Halloweentown franchise. Haven't seen 4 yet. What can I say? I think uh, I like in concept the idea of a bunch of outsiders trying to find their place in a new world, essentially to them. I like that Marnie of one of the I didn't really touch on this, but she's very self-absorbed and very selfish throughout the film. But one of the core traits that I actually liked about that selfishness is it's actually led her to make the right choice in that she's going to stick her neck out for these kids because she believes in them. There's not a lot of that in this movie, but it is a concept I actually quite enjoy. It's one of the it kind of ties back into like um, Captain America makes selfish choices all the time in the MCU for what he perceives to be the best choice to make. And whether or not you agree with him, I still respect the character for that choice. You know, that kind of falls into that same boat for here with me with Marnie. Um, at least with regard to that specific facet. Um, because like every Cromwell, she's damaged beyond repair by everything else that goes on in the story. Um, but that was just to kind of explain because I have called her self-absorbed a couple times and selfish a couple times throughout the course of this podcast. I felt the need to explain that. It is an attribute that is firmly a part of a character that I don't think was fully flipped on its head and assassinated, though she clearly forgot about Goblin Boy in Halloweentown. He's just gone from this film, so there's no continuity with that. Um, and I guess just to kind of round this up in the way that I usually do, the plot is simple but very awfully written. It's pushed forward by nonsensical choices, by characters doing nonsensical things, and it's the entire film felt like a movie moment, as Springs likes to put it, in terms of the writing when it comes to the plot. It felt like everything was happening for a very specific reason. Nothing felt natural. Um, Outside of like the scant neighboring edges of a few things. I think the council in concept, and this is going to start getting into world building, is cool. It's good that they are keeping an eye on things. They want to help Marnie a little bit. They want to look after the kids. So their priorities are mostly in the right place, even if they're terrified of the human world. And we can talk about the inconsistencies of that because of how the portal opens already once every year, or it used to. Um, and I had a larger point with that, but it's now gone. So moving on. Villain's plan doesn't make any sense. We've kind of cracked a lot of jokes about that. Still doesn't make any fucking sense. So the plot's a mess. The world building ain't much better. Because the entire premise going into this movie, as far as the world building is concerned, the one rule is they need to stay hidden so they can interact with the human world. The theme that goes supposed to go on with that is the world accepting them for who they are, which is botched ultimately by I think their inability to hide who they are. Um, it would be one thing to go through the theme of the story and be able to make it so that like yeah you've earned the right to be yourself and you've earned the right that it's okay to be yourself. but it's done in such a nonsensical way because that is tied into the plot being poorly written by the Egger's plan not making sense in pushing for particular things when humans haven't really demonstrated the need to be evil outside of the mob mentality that Phil manages to whip them into for all of 30 seconds. Um, and that goes into characters. Natalie, you get a gold star. Good job. Um, Everyone else was either assassinated from preceding films or damaged. I would say Aggie's assassinated, Gwen is assassinated, Marnie is heavily damaged. I'm not sure if she was a character assassinated. Dylan was definitely damaged, being that he's supposed to be the intellectual character, and he loses that kind of straight edge charm to him that he has, the straight man in a group of weirdos. He kind of lost that charm to him a little bit by the fact of just by virtue of him being around weirdos. His arc with Natalie is also good in concept, poorly executed. Um, and Sophie, you also get a gold star. Um, Not being damaged or broken. And I've talked about Phil the entirety of the podcast a lot. I'm not going to go much more into that detail here because I think there's nothing that I haven't already said that can be repeated. Suffice to say, he's my new pick for Kylo Ren equivalent. The character has no idea. The writers had no idea what they wanted to do with the character, and that shows. Um, and again, lots of potential that was wasted. And Edgar's plan doesn't make sense. It don't really get why he wants the Cromwell magic other than just to be haha evil. Which would be fine if we had any semblance of character to attach to it. We don't. The actor is just charming. I'm at a 2, objectively. Uh, I was bouncing between 2.5 and 1.5 once the podcast really started going today. So I'm settling on a 2. I will turn this over to you, Springs.
Okay. So your objective from the start to now lowered 1 whole point.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Oh boy, where the heck do I start? Let's start with subjective. This movie took a huge hit for not having Benny, not having Halloweentown, and not having the theme song. Which, funny enough, the other 2 movies did have. And let me remind you, so you don't have to do the homework yourself, of my subjective rating for the past 2 movies. Halloweentown 1 gave a 6.5. Safe movie. Pretty good. Fun for the holiday. Calibur's Revenge. Not really good. A lot of problems. Not that fun. A little better, but that's a 3. I have this movie as a 3.5. Shocking, I know. Meaning I enjoy it more than Calibur's Revenge. I think it's because this movie to me was paced better, and it actually had kind of an overarching story of what was happening. It was very loose and very hollow, but from point A to the end was concise. And I think that's why I'm just like, it's okay, but leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So that's my subjective, 3.5. My objective went down a whole point. I am now at a 4, and I was at a 5, because I thought some things were poorly done in the movie to like lower it from the average of just a very bland, okay, middle road movie. But the more we talk, the more problems there are. The again, kind of just like for the film it is of a made for Disney Channel a Disney Channel original movie. You don't really have the top tier of the top tiers you can get, but I feel like other films of Disney Channel originals are better quality than some, like High School Musical, pretty big. So the writing, very bland. Actually, I'll just go with my kind of like big feel. I kind of feel like every scene in this movie consists of the same exact thing. You have conflict. There's conflict in pretty much every scene of something going on. There's no sitting down calm scene. You have undescribed magic. You have a comedical little joke somewhere and monsters. And that seems to be in every scene of this movie. Oh, and some kind of flirtatious love. Whether that's Dylan and Natalie, Aggie and Phil, or Marnie and Cody. So the pacing is, how do I describe? It's very flat, like a flat line, but each bubble of scene consists of the same things in it. And the acting was fine. Some actors were better than others, but nothing like exquisite. The lighting was fine. The cinematography was fine. There was one good transition I found. Everything else was kind of bland. The costuming, I guess, was good, but it didn't hit the level of Calabar's Revenge with the mom as the witch, which I think was great costuming and makeup. This didn't really hit that. This movie had a Floops Fugly as the ogre, and then Natalie was just pink with a wig. Yeah, it was a lot of just like ends and middle of the roads, but the plot and writing characters really dumbed it down. So I have it a 4. And in comparison to my other two, Halloweentown 1, I gave a 7.5. And there was something really big about that. I can't remember, like the ogre or something with a hot dog. If I could be completely off, but there was something like big that no one agreed with me on, or something with the first movie. Anyhow, Calibur's Revenge, I gave a 5, and this one's a 4.
Interesting.
Oh, all
I
right.
have a question for the recap.
All right. Well then, gentlemen, are there any lingering questions to ask now? Final thoughts before I read us out?
Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Happy
yeah.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween, guys. All you fans out there, listeners. I guess with that, gentlemen, I shall read us out. Thank you, audience, for listening, whether it be Spotify, Amazon, Castbox, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, Pocket Casts, and Samsung. If you happen to be on our visual side of things, be it YouTube or Rumble, thank you for watching and listening there. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe everywhere. Tell us how much you hate our opinions or how much you love them. As always, I have been a Geeky Writer,
I'm Crimson Marin.
And I'm Springs.
and we will catch you next time. Later, everybody.
Bye.
Toodaloo.